The Dow's up 159 points, NASDAQ down 347, the S&P 500 off by 49. Again, the high today around 71. It is 65 in Dallas, 64 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 2:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Mansfield. Mansfield, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to wilhitewins.com.
Hey there, welcome. Happy Friday. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. The weekend officially begins right now. Well, unofficially begins right now. I think officially, as soon as this show's over, you can unplug and go nuts. But I'm going to get you all caught up on the news. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that's going on here in Texas. There's been a lot of national focus on WBAP today, and I'll do some of that. But I want to start with some stuff that's going on in your own backyard. I mean, how much do you really know about what's going on in schools? And so many of these school topics, you hear them and you're like, okay, well, luckily my kids are in a nice school district and this doesn't happen where I live. And then I go to TexasScorecard.com and I see that fentanyl is killing an average of 5 Texans a day. And a school resource officer at Allen High School has now a new second hobby, administering Narcan to overdosing students. Brandon Walton is with Texas Scorecard. Thank you for joining us on such short notice here. But I find this kind of shocking that this is happening in a nice school district, in a nice town like Allen, and they're having problems with opioid overdoses.
Well, I think that's what shocks everyone. I mean, this is happening everywhere. It's even happening, this report focuses on Allen High School because here you have one of the student resource officers out there openly talking about this, that literally just this year he's had to administer Narcan 3 times to different students, including one as recently as last week because of, overdosing on fentanyl. But this is just one school district, right? And this is happening all over the place. This is happening in schools across the state, across the country. And it's really, really become a big problem. And frankly, it's sad.
Well, Brandon, this echoes of the opioid issues that were happening in sort of the Plano-Frisco area, which was the Allen of the 90s. And how did we solve that back in the day?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. What was that?
Oh, did I cut out? I'm sorry. So this sounds like when we had the opioid crisis, we had black tar heroin and whatnot going through Plano and Plano East. MTV came down and they did a special about it. And I don't know, did that problem go away? And if so, how did we fix that?
Well, obviously you continue to have problems, but this problem in particular, though, is a little bit different in the sense that a lot of this fentanyl, not all of it, but a lot of it, is actually very, very much tied to what's happening at the southern border, right? A lot of these drugs are coming across the southern border. They're coming from Mexico. In some cases, the chemicals are coming from China. They're coming from other countries. And so, this is an issue, whereas, maybe in the past, some of these issues that we had back in the 90s, 80s, et cetera, were very, very domestic. This is an international issue now.
Well, I think there's 2 approaches here. Number one, my philosophical approach to this, and I know a lot of people, you might disagree with me, but a lot of people listening disagree with my stance on this, but I think all drugs should be legalized, and you would get rid of some of these accidental overdose deaths because the likelihood that they would be tainted would go down. It wouldn't diminish completely, but I think you would have fewer. Now, no one's going to agree with me on that, and even if you did, it's not going to pass anytime soon. So the other approach is the pragmatic approach, and the nearest thing I can come up with for people who are saying, well, what do I do about this? I know this sounds weird, but you go to a drugstore, you buy a little box of Narcan, and you just carry it around and just be ready.
That's certainly some of the advice, and that's why we do have that in schools, right? I mean, thank God that they were able to protect these kids. But unfortunately, right, a lot of these overdoses don't happen in a school. They happen in other places, and that's where you see a lot of the deaths.
Yeah, I have a former coworker whose adult son, I mean, he's in his early 20s, has some addiction struggles. And that's something that he's learned, that he just carries one around. He has one in the console of his car, and he keeps one in the bathroom at home. And he's only had to use it once, but that was something that was recommended to him the first time his son went through rehab. And so I have anecdotally seen it save a life. Now, I don't like that we have to live in a world where we have to carry in some sort of opioid reactant, but I mean, does that sound crazy, Brandon? Are you okay with us just adopting this new readiness, whatever you call it?
Well, I think that there's a lot that needs to be done, right? I think that we need to take efforts to stop these drugs pouring across the border. Texas actually has, by the way, taken some steps. So aside from having Narcan in the schools and some of these things, Texas has actually taken steps to further criminalize fentanyl deaths. You had some stronger penalties put on that during the last legislative session. Those things have been signed into law. Those are now the law in the state. And so the state is doing some work to push back against this. But I'll tell you, we continue to see these stories. It's very sad. And I think it's really eye-opening, regardless of what you think, right, about whether or not, drugs should be legalized, et cetera. I think most everybody can agree we shouldn't be seeing this happening in schools with children.
What is going on with schools just in general? Texas Scorecard is documenting with great detail the issues that are going on with drugs, with the issues that are going on with the sexual-focused ideology and pornographic material at elementary school kids. And then y'all are also doing a great job documenting the horrific pattern of teachers and faculty members having inappropriate relationships with students. Have schools always been this bad, or do we just have a better microscope on them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's certainly, I can't remember. It used to be like, you'd see some of these stories about, teachers engaging in inappropriate relationships with students. And you certainly see a few of them, maybe a year. Now it's literally, it's every single day just about. It's more than we can cover. We cover a lot of these stories. There's plenty that we just can't because it's happening. literally all across the place. I don't care what part of the state you're in, what school district you're in, they're on the rise. And so, it's tough to say, right? Is this because these incidents are happening more, or is it because we now have people more comfortable with reporting this behavior and sharing it, and we're able to find these things out? I'll tell you this, we do have in some school districts, we just saw it happen in Prosper ISD not too long ago, where you have administrators that will actually work to try to cover this stuff up so that parents don't find out about it.
You guys are doing great work over at Texas Scorecard. TexasScorecard.com, everybody. Put it on your regular rotation. Thank you, Brandon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What's the weirdest thing going on at your kid's school? I want to know. I want to hear your stories. Do you have a bunch of kids that are just falling off, ODing in the locker room? Who wants to party in math class anyway? Shouldn't you save your drugs for like the weekend or like in their like prom night or an after the game sock hop or something? You want to just party while you're taking a Scantron? That's so weird. But what's the weirdest thing going on at your kid's school? If you got a weird story, I want to hear about it. If I don't have any weird stories, I'll move on. I got plenty to talk about. It's a Friday. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
And you know it's gonna be a long, long time till I get home and start to unwind. The road is closed and I can't get home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm in a traffic jam. Traffic man, Monty's gonna help me get home on time.
Westbound 635 at 75 Central. Got two right lanes taken away for a wreck. Get solid back to the tollway. Try Forest Lane or Royal Lane as your alternate routes.
DFW's traffic station. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Check out the CF Moto PowerFest sales event at all DFW CF Moto dealers. Go to cfmotousa.com and get motivated.
Brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Brandy from the Good Feet Store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com.
Did you know you can lose up to 25% efficiency by having leaky windows in your home? Ernie here for the folks at Statewide Remodeling. Statewide is looking for 50 homeowners to receive free installation on a house full of windows or a new bath and shower with no interest and no payments until 2026. In the last 30 years, Statewide Remodeling has replaced over 300,000 plus windows here in the Southwest. If you've been considering replacing your windows or bathroom, now is the time to call Statewide Remodeling. I've been been telling you about their EcoSouth window, so you only pay for options you need on a window-by-window basis. And now you receive up to a $1,200 tax credit when installing these energy-efficient windows in your home. Plus, Statewide is a multi-year Consumer Choice winner and Google guaranteed. They even have a lifetime workmanship warranty. So, no interest and no payments until 2026, free installation, plus a $50 Amazon gift card just for getting an estimate. 214-214-6000. That's 214-214-6000. Or online at statewideremodeling.com.
How would a few $100s of passive income monthly change your life? Cover a car payment, a living expense, add a few more streams, and when all your expenses are covered, you're retired. What if you could do so in 5 years or less? Lifestyles Unlimited can show you how by investing in real estate, just like Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa.
So we started passively. It was on vacation is when we realized we really need to take the plunge and be more active in this. Just because I'm an educator, I wanted to really know what I was doing. So it was just education on my part is really big and knowledge. And I'm like, well, I could do that.
Learn how, learn now with Lifestyles Unlimited. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter code 2024 for our special offer, a 2-year financial freedom membership for just $297. That's 66% off the regular price. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com, code 2024. Take action today and get educated with Lifestyles Unlimited at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Brought to you by carsforkids.org.
Carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid. Donate your old vehicle to carsforkids.org to make a difference in the lives of kids. Towing is free. Carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
We have a couple of new crashes in Dallas. One's on Loop 12 Walton Walker, northbound just before you get to 35E. It's blocking the middle lane. Traffic stacking up back near 183. Looks like close to 20 minutes of delay. Westbound 635, you have one at Montfort in the right center lane. That's about a 15 to 20 minute delay from Coit. Still have that construction in southeast Dallas on 20 at Bonneview. They've closed down the left lane, both east and westbound. That's adding about 10 minutes of extra stop and go, both directions. And they cleared a crash northbound 635 at Oates. Still look out for some extra congestion around I-30. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by TruckWreck.com.
I'm attorney Mark Frankel with the law firm of Frankel & Frankel. When you're injured in a wreck, talking to the insurance company can be one of the worst things you do. Call Frankel first to walk you through the next steps.
FRENKEL. Call Frankel first.
News at the top and bottom of each hour. And when it breaks, 24/7.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. I know this isn't very Friday friendly. Gross breaking news. Some man tried to self-immolate in front of the Trump trial. And self-immolate, these are the crazy people that douse themselves in gasoline and set themselves on fire. He's not dead. Critical condition. Oh, my goodness. If you survived that, do you even want to survive that? Details coming up. The cops are doing a press conference as we speak. I'll gather the info that they give out and pass it along here. But to the phones we go. We were just talking about the crazy amount of drug issues that we're having in schools. And it's nice schools. Allen High School is not thought of as the wrong side of the tracks now, is it? In fact, it's pretty nice. A lot of us would have been lucky to go to a high school that nice. School resource officer has told a reporter from CBS News that he has had to issue Narcan to revive kids who are overdosing 3 times already this year. And I believe later in the article, 5 times overall in his whole career, but 3 times already this year, if I remember correctly. To the phones we go. What's the weirdest thing you've seen in your school? Rob and McKinney, you're on 820 AM, now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hey, James. Thanks for taking the call. Yeah, my family members teach in the Frisco ISD, and I went out and bought Narcan just for them, and they weren't issuing it at the time, and I felt because of all the fentanyl coming across the borders, it was just the prudent thing to do. And ironically, my life insurance wanted to go ahead and up my life insurance. They noticed that I went out and bought Narcan. So they started grilling me on, why did you buy Narcan? Do you have a drug problem? And I thought that was just the craziest thing. So they started grilling me on why I bought Narcan.
All right, hang on. Your story's perfect for the segment. We just have to catch some people up. When you go buy Narcan, you can go to a CVS or a Walgreens. I did this once just so I could report on it and talk about it with you and know what the heck I'm talking about. They don't have it over the counter. You have to go back to the pharmacist and you have to tell him you want a Narcan. And then he goes to some shelf and gives it to you. You have to show an ID. I don't recall the guy putting my driver's license information into some sort of database. How did the insurance company know that you bought it?
I had to show my information. That's exactly what I had to do at our pharmacist. I had to show my information, and it was $100 a bottle at the time, and I bought 2. One for one for each family member. Let's just say that. And they had my information for sure, and I had to assure them that I was not a casual fentanyl user.
Yeah, right. That's what I do for giggles when I don't go into social studies and now in high school, I suppose. But Emmett Smith went on a campaign last year where he was telling people, warning them about fentanyl overdoses are at an all-time high and whatnot. But hey, everyone needs to have Narcan, especially if you are adjacent to someone with addiction issues, or if you're a parent and your kids are getting into sort of that teenage rebellious era. And he talked about how easy it was and how the cost has gone down. And so I did it because I had to report on it on a show last year. And it really was easy. Go ahead.
It was, and I thought it was the prudent thing to do, not just for my family members, but just because I think that, unfortunately, we're going to probably have a need to use it. And I'd rather, if there's a member of my community that's going to need it, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. It's not that expensive. I don't like that we have to live in a world where you have to be ready and, there's not a lot of training involved, but at least you have to be knowledgeable for a person in your vicinity overdosing. But
yeah. And some people, they don't have the additional $100 to $200 to just put something in their car. Luckily and thankfully I do. I resent the fact that I have to go out and buy it on my own funds. But what was worse was being grilled by my own life insurance company, and making it very difficult for me to then get it, Yeah,
I don't like that because it discourages people from getting it. It gives them an incentive to not. You don't want to mess with it. If I'm in a database, that can't be for a good thing. It's not like they're in a database for that would help you. It's a database that would help them. It was a database that helped them exclude you from coverage or from paying for certain things. That they're not doing you any favors when they put you in a database ever.
Exactly. And it was counterintuitive to the whole purpose of trying to be responsible, proactive. And, so hopefully they're issuing them to school administrators, to teachers, to staff. I don't think they are. But I thought I was doing the responsible thing by going out there and buying it on my own money. But like many other teachers and staff, they have to go out there and spend their own money for classroom supplies.
Excellent call. The Christian side of me thinks that would be a good charitable endeavor. Let's just go buy a whole bunch of Narcan. We'll make sure all the schools have it, and anything we have left over, you can go walk over here in downtown Dallas and start handing it to the junkies nodding off in the alley. It's like, hey, I know you don't have your life 100% together, but don't go dying on me now. Terry sends a Facebook message that says, my daughter goes to Pilot Point, and you covered then about a month ago for student-teacher relationships. I remember that. Kind of gross stuff. She adds, there was also a female teacher busted for DUI. I'm not so concerned about that. The female teacher busted for DUI. Well, did she get drunk and crash into the front of a pizza parlor? I mean, did she run through the drive-thru of a Taco Cabana? Or did she get pulled over after having 3 drinks with dinner and she failed the breathalyzer, so now we have to absolutely ruin her entire career and destroy her income that was so meager to begin with because she's a teacher? And does that necessarily mean she's a bad teacher? Look, if she's a great math teacher, but she happened to have 3 martinis at happy hour one day, I think she's still probably a pretty good math teacher. And even if she does have an issue with addiction, let's get her some help. Let's not ruin her entire life and destroy her career over that. But people, I don't have that gene. And I married someone who doesn't have that gene. But we know people who love to see people get taken down. I don't know if that's like an envy gene, or they just love the scandal. Maybe it's like that sort of Nancy Grace type personality where I knew you guys were up to no good and I caught you. I don't have that. I am not Candace from Phineas and Ferb, that's for sure. So female teacher busted for DUI. What kind of DUI? I mean, I don't have an unlimited amount of grace there, but female teacher busted for DUI, I don't get upset or exercised about that. But thank you for your comments on Facebook. Yeah, we are streaming on Facebook as well. And if you want to catch some of the parts of the show that you missed after the show, whenever you're goofing around, trying to kill some time in a waiting room, sitting in traffic, go to the WBAP app, look for the podcast. There's a whole James Show segment now. You can go catch some of the segments you missed, and the commercials are minimized. If you have any more comments on that, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. When we come back, updates on the Trump trial. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Casey Bartholomew here. Mortgage rates are lower this spring selling season, and Chris Waters has the experience to sell your home fast for maximum cash. Does your growing family mean it's time to find your dream home? Chris Waters is the real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Waters Realty guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes. With Chris Waters, there are no required costly repairs. You pick your move date, there are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Take Dora in Dallas. She found her dream home in North Dallas, but it was going to take top dollar on her current home to be able to afford her new home. She hired the Waters team, saying the marketing plan was amazing. Her home sold in a few days and at list price. So call the agent who guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes. Call the team I personally recommend, Chris Waters and Waters International Realty, to see if your home qualifies at 214-689-6646, or go to ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.com.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because Rhino Shield is backed by a 25-year warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take a tip from Terry. Call now for your free estimate. 844-RHINO-28. That's 844-RHINO-28. or visit rhinoshieldtx.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
rhinoshieldtx.com.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct Spring Sale. This is your last chance to get 20% off store-wide. Plus, book an appointment and you'll get an additional $100 off your purchase. You don't want to miss this. 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. And a huge selection of the latest styles with in-store designer appearances. 20% off ends this Sunday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
There are 5 misconceptions about filing for Social Security that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime income. Don't miss Preserving Your Retirement on Saturday at 8 a.m. on News Talk 820 and now on FM at 93.3 WBAP.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
A jury seated in the Trump trial, but major drama outside the courthouse. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in Garland on I-30 eastbound at Bass Pro Drive. It's blocking the left lane. You also still have that construction 30 eastbound at Dalrock closing down the right lane. All in all, you're looking at about a 10 to 12 minute delay from Bobtown Road. Still have the construction in southeast Dallas, 20 eastbound and westbound have the left lanes closed down at Bonneview. Give yourself about 10 extra minutes in both directions. And you also still have a crash in North Dallas, westbound 635 at Montfort. Right center lane gone here and about a 15-minute jam built up from Coit. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, partly sunny this afternoon, a high around 71 degrees. It is 65 in Dallas, 64 in Fort Worth. A full jury is seated in former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York, where we are expecting opening statements possibly on Monday. However, extreme drama outside the courthouse today, where a man set himself on fire this afternoon and was rushed away after being extinguished. The man is alive at Cornell Burn Center. Police saying he's in critical condition. Other people who tried to put the fire out were treated for minor injuries. A response from Iran is expected following last night's Israeli airstrike upon it. Fox's Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
Israel struck back against Iran overnight in response to that drone and missile attack last weekend. The Israeli retaliation was limited in scope and meant to send a message to the Islamic Republic that Israel can strike within Iranian territory. The explosions took place in Iran's Isfahan province, about 200 miles south of the Iranian capital, Tehran. The province is home to Iran's Natanz nuclear facility. Iranian state media confirmed that explosions took place overnight and attributed them to the country's air defense system intercepting small drones.
The U.S. did not aid Israel in the strike. It helped Israel ward off last weekend's Iranian drone and missile attack. Your money news: over 3 weeks after a cargo ship struck and collapsed Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, Maryland Governor Wes Moore declared the bridge will be rebuilt and the economic damage caused by the collapse will be repaired. In an update on the collapse this afternoon, Governor Moore said heavy containers and heavy bridge debris need to be removed from the cargo ship before it can be taken out of Baltimore Harbor.
Every single one of these containers, when they are empty, they are about 1.5 to 2.5 tons.
The state will be providing aid to Baltimore area businesses that have been affected by the disaster. The Dow's up 167 points, NASDAQ down 321, the S&P 500 off by 45. Again, the high today 71, it is 65 in Dallas, 64 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Seems like a roller coaster ride sometimes following sports here in North Texas. Busy one week, not so much the next week. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are focused on the NFL draft. That's coming up next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Rangers are out of town. Mavericks are leaving town, and the Stars don't have a game on home ice until next Monday in the Stanley Cup playoffs. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Cowboys with the 24th pick in the first round of the draft next Thursday from Detroit, where common sense says they've got to get somebody who can help them on that offensive line. But with Jerry Jones, you just never know who he's going to pull the trigger on. Rangers are going to spend the weekend in Atlanta against Major League Baseball's best team right now. The Braves are 12-5. The Rangers 11-9, but hanging on to first place in the AL West. Mavs leaving for the West Coast in L.A. to play the Clippers Sunday and Tuesday at Crypto.com Arena. Before that series shifts to Dallas next Friday and Sunday. And then you've got the Western Conference champion Dallas Stars getting ready for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Games on the Big Ice and Big D next Monday and Wednesday. And last but not least, for you soccer fans, FC Dallas at home Saturday night at Toyota Stadium in a game against the Colorado Rapids. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'm Steve Lamb, WBAP Sports.
Real life, real news.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, how you doing? This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. We have some more info. You just heard Eric Bushman reporting on the guy that self-immolated outside of Trump's trial, 30 feet away from the courthouse in a little park in a median on next to the road. Some guy goes out, throws some accelerant on himself, throws some pamphlets out, sets himself on fire, makes a few statements, and people rush over. They cover him with blankets and coats. They actually save him for now. He's in critical condition, taken to the hospital. Didn't actually die. So we have the sleuths on the internet running the speculation machine. Now, once all this is confirmed and sourced and properly vetted, then you'll hear it in the newscast. But I'm allowed to run with base speculation that I see on Twitter because I'm not held to such high journalistic standards. That's why we delineate between the news and me, your talk show host. But so people went, they picked up the pamphlets, they took some pictures of them, they put them on Twitter. Other people did the research, and they found out who we think this guy is. And the best rundown is coming from the Daily Mail. It's weird that they're on the other side of the planet, and they're better than some of our media outlets on this side. But we think, you're not going to be shocked, we think it's a Florida man. We think. Now, this is all allegedly, reportedly, non-confirmed, all the the reasonable legal disclaimers out the way. They think his name is Max Azzarello. And so we play a couple of games. First, we play sort of this weird mutant version of racial bingo where we got to figure out, well, is he a white guy, or is he a Muslim, or is he another one of these trans shooters? I mean, what's going on here? It's a white guy. We think he's a white guy, 37 years old. He looks like a rough 37. He looks like me, and I'm like 9 years older than him. But the next thing we look for after we do racial bingo is he on Team Blue or is he on Team Red? Because then we get to paint our political opponents as crazy people. I think he's just sort of a neutral, super crazy. He's a guy that thinks Biden and Trump are in on it together. I've gotten to read some of what has been thrown up as his I don't know. Do you call it a manifesto? It was the pamphlets he was handing out. There's another manifesto we'll talk about later in the show. But this doesn't seem like anything that could be pinned on Team Blue or Team Red. It's just a super duper crazy person who thinks that this is all just a dog and pony show, and there's a real sinister conspiracy behind the curtain that's actually running everything. There's references to the Grateful Dead, the Doors, the Beatles, the Civil Rights Movement. There's a quote from Hitler in here. If you want to go read it, go ahead. But I urge you not to. Not that I want you to be not informed, but this is a Friday. Don't go fill your head with this craziness, this crazy stuff. I think this is starting to have an effect on me because I've read so many of these manifestos. Like, I sat down, and I remember the first time I was like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this story. I'm going to read one of these manifestos. And I ended up reading like 80-something pages from that dude in Norway. Do you remember the Norway attack where he blew up a bomb in front of a government building, and then he went to some island where they were having Christian camp, like Christian summer camp, and he just shot up the place until he ran out of bullets? Remember that guy, Anders Breivik or something? Man, I read his whole thing, and he had made some YouTube videos. And I don't know, it's disturbing. And you can't help but notice that if you fill your head with all the ramblings of these crazy people, that it's going to have some sort of effect. The other one that really shook me was that dude that shot up Virginia Tech, Cho Sung-Wee. He didn't have a manifesto that I read, but he had posted a bunch of YouTube videos, and I watched them, and I recorded all of them to see if I could find, some little piece of audio that'd be great for the show I was on. But, I encourage you, tap the brakes. When they're this crazy, you're not going to learn anything from it. These are the Nashville, we don't have the whole manifesto from the Nashville Trans. We just have the couple of pages that someone snuck out with a couple of camera pictures. Yeah, not so interested in that. Tell you what, there was a good book, though, that dug into the motivations that were in all these manifestos. Someone did a book on the manifestos. They were a guest on the show like 2 months ago. I forgot who it was. But let someone else go do that and pull the quotes and be like, look, this seems to be the motivating factor. And, one thing that came up over and over was the media attention and the idea that having their name etched into immortality, even if it's for a cause like this, is better than nothing. So that's the latest we have here on the immolation in front of the Trump trial. It happened today, right before the James show started. He had made some posts on social media. And his last post was, hey, I set myself on fire. So this is something he thought about. It wasn't a spur of the moment thing. He's originally from Florida, but he had come up to New York last year. And it's not that that's much of a trip for him, because he went to college in North Carolina. Then he went to graduate school at Rutgers, which is just across the line there in New Jersey. So as we learn more about this guy, the more I can say, no, this isn't like some guy who got all spun up into a MAGA conspiracy theory, or this isn't like a Bernie Sanders supporter like we saw shooting up the Republican baseball practice. This is just a genuinely crazy person, and no one deserves to be pinned with inciting this guy or producing this guy or your rhetoric led to this guy. No, this guy, he's just a crazy person. Period, point blank, end of story. It's a tragedy. We're in a human endeavor. Human beings are going to be flawed, and this is one of those gods. It's not that he made a mistake. It's just factory seconds, I suppose. Coming up next, we have a handful of popular snacks that could be banned in certain states over causing cancer. Now, is that legit or is that overhyped? We'll talk about it next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
On air, on the app, on the go. Check in 2, 3, 4 times a day. And keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by TrainInfo.com.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. You can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, there's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Tyra, said, Mark Spain Real Estate was incredibly informative. Thanks to them, we closed in less than a month. With their guidance, the transaction was more seamless than we could ever have hoped for. I would absolutely work with Mark Spain Real Estate again. I've been in business for nearly 30 years and have served over 50,000 satisfied clients, and I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Hey, Red Mountain Weight Loss now has semaglutide
semaglutide in stock and ready to ship today. Either injection or tablet, your choice. Plus, you get support from their expert medical staff with custom-tailored meal plans to speed your progress and medical solutions to prevent side effects or muscle loss. And all this for less than half the price of Ozempic. So why go anywhere else? Lose up to 15 pounds this month with semaglutide from Red Mountain Weight Loss. Just go to redmountainweightloss.com. That's redmountainweightloss.com.
We're here at Genesis of Plano, part of Huffines Auto Family, for their 100th year of serving DFW and asking customers to sing the jingle.
Huffines has it.
So what was the it for you?
They just made my first purchase so seamless and smooth and really unforgettable.
And when you visit Genesis of Plano, get huge savings on new GV70s, GV80s, and our limited time manager specials. Shop online at genesisofplano.com. Let's cue the jingle.
My dad's sleeping on the couch. Yeah, Mom's really not happy because Dad forgot to mention his IRS problems. She found out when a whole bunch of IRS letters rained down on us like bad report cards. Mom's freaking out that the IRS will grab our stuff. She said if Dad doesn't get this fixed, he's out. And I don't want to see my dad on the street like a homeless bum. Plus, she said at this rate, I'll never get that little brother to be player 2 in my video games. I'm calling IRSprop.com at 214-214-3000 to get Dad a free consultation with Randy Martin. He's right here in Dallas, and he knows how to tackle those IRS monsters. Listen up. If your dad's in hot water with the IRS, you gotta dial 214-214-3000. I'll say it again, 214-214-3000. Call now. Those government guys aren't getting their hands on my toys. And don't forget to tell them that Tommy sent you.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to NHTSA, in 2019, more than 5,000 people were killed in crashes involving large trucks in the U.S. If you were injured in an 18-wheeler accident, contact Thomas J. Henry. To start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
We have a new crash on the southbound Dallas North Tollway. This one's at Spring Valley, blocking the right lane. You already have about a 20-minute delay built up back from Trinity Mills. A wreck was cleared westbound 635 at Montfort. Still have about a 5-minute delay unwinding from around Park Central. We still have a crash in Garland, 30 eastbound at Bass Pro. It's in the left lane, and a little bit further down you have construction on 30 eastbound at Dow Rock that's closing down the right lane. All in all, that's about a 10-minute jam. And in southeast Dallas, I-20 has the left lane closed both east and westbound at Bonneview. That's causing about 10 minutes of extra commute time in both directions. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by TruckWreck.com.
I'm attorney Mark Frankel. When you're injured in a car wreck, talking to the insurance company can be one of the worst things you do. When they call, just tell them your lawyers are Frankel and Frankel. I promise they have my number.
FRENKEL. Call Frankel first.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, happy Friday. Welcome to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. There's a handful of states that are considering a handful of bans on a handful of snacks, and it's all around the popular. You've heard this so much throughout your life. They found something in there that could cause you cancer. Oh no! Thought I was going to be immortal. Now, it has been my observation that so many times over your life that these fears have proven to be overblown, but just in case they're not, let's talk to Jana Johnson, a holistic nutritionist. Hang on, don't run away. We like her, actually. Don't run off. Look, Jana, is there any truth to the fear that some of these popular snacks can cause cancer?
There is. First of all, thank you for that introduction. You made me laugh. But there's actually truth to this one. Honestly, this one is a little maddening, especially for me as a mom of 3, my 2 oldest being teenagers who can kind of get their hands on more things than I would like. And these additives and things that they add to the foods are very cancer-causing. In fact, they mess our immune system up, they mess our endocrine system up, and what is really sad is the FDA knows that. The reason they actually add these to the foods not only is for shelf life, but some of these chemicals actually make the food more addicting.
Well, I have. I recall when I was a little kiddo, they took the red M&Ms out of the M&M pack, and that destroyed my childhood. It scarred me. And then a few years later, they changed their mind and put it back in. So they've been wrong about some of these claims before. How do we know they're not wrong about that one?
Yeah, a lot of these chemicals have been around a long time, and what they did on some of those is they changed the number with it, right? Like red dye number 5, and then they would change it, put it in a different number with it. But the studies on this have actually been out for a very long time. In fact, these chemicals and additives have been banned in Europe for a really long time. They actually make the exact same foods in Europe without these ingredients in there. And so when you compare label to label, it's very frustrating because there's really no reason to have it in there. And they're so bad for our immune system and for our bodies and for our brain health.
See, that doesn't make any sense. Why would Gatorade want to kill us just for funsies?
I tell you what, if you really want to get frustrated, here's what they do is they put these chemicals that they know are not good into these products, and our kids eat them, and they're cheap to get. Then they make us sick, and we go to the doctor. Then there's insurance, and then there's prescriptions, and it's kind of a big conglomerate, if you ask me.
Yeah, but Gatorade doesn't get a kickback from that.
They don't get a kickback of it, but it's all regulated by the FDA. And what I tell people is stay away from the dyes, stay away from all the stuff you can't pronounce. If you have a hard time pronouncing it, your body's going to have a hard time recognizing it.
Well, see, I push back on all these because I've heard so many hypes about how all this stuff gives you cancer that I tune it out because they've been wrong so many times before. How do you convince a skeptic like me that this time's different and this really will give you cancer?
I know, and I understand that. It's like stevia, right? Stevia came out and it's healthy, and then they say that it's cancer causing, and I get that. It is absolutely confusing, but when you look at these foods and you actually look at the pictures of them, some of these look like household cleaners. When they look that fake, they're really bad for you. And so for me, I just go back to just teaching people, if you cannot pronounce it, your body won't recognize it. If it looks that artificial, probably stay away from it. And honestly, if you just stay away from processed foods and sugars and the dyes, then you pretty much omit most of these.
Okay, so there's a lot of people that can't pronounce ascorbic acid if they were to read it, but that's vitamin C. So that's actually something that's not only good for them, it's a sort of essential for health. I'm not sure if I agree with the big word law you got going on there.
No, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, honestly, knowledge is power, and I think that's important to know. But a lot of these are, just super really hard to pronounce. I mean, hell, even I can even pronounce a few of them. But if you just stick to just more natural whole foods, get your cleaner sources of meat. What's really funny is it's more expensive to eat healthy, and it's cheaper to eat unhealthy. But as a person that's overcome diseases, it's much more expensive to be sick and have to get well.
See, this is why we have to have you on the show. I think it can be just as cheap to eat healthy. A banana is like $0.25, and you could fill yourself up for $1, and that's super duper healthy. There's no preservatives. There's no polyethyl BMA, whatever chemicals. I can pronounce everything that's in it. It's just banana. So I think some of these are popular tropes that sound good, but I consider myself a standing statue, a testament that if preservatives were going to kill you, I'd be dead by now. I'd love preservatives.
Well, some preservatives are okay, and then there's the ones that are not, right? The more natural preservatives. But for me, I think if people can just stick, like I said, the more natural whole foods, and try to eat organic. Anytime you're going to be eating the skin on a vegetable or a fruit, you should try to go organic and stay away from the pesticides and things. Look, here's what it is that it all adds up in your body. And you have most of these are endocrine disruptors, and they mess with our gut, and 80% of our immune system's in our gut. So if people can kind of just use a little bit of common sense, a lot of this stuff is in candies, processed foods, these sugary cereals, and we really shouldn't be feeding our kids these things anyways. And in fact, our school system serves some of the most unhealthiest foods to our kids.
Okay, well, I'm out there seeking I want extra gluten, I want extra GMO, I want extra artificial sweeteners and preservatives if you can get it. And one day I'm going to kill over and you're going to be able to wag your finger at my audience.
No, I know. I'm not going to wag my finger. I'll just help you out.
Thank you very much. You're so nice to put up with me, as Janet Johnson, holistic nutritionist. You can find her online. And I know Sean's already looked her up, haven't you? Yeah, I see that smile. All right, thank you, Janet. We'll have to have you back on again. Yeah. I take it back for that one, the new M&Ms that came out, instead of being stuffed with peanuts or peanut butter, they have a new one out that's stuffed with asbestos. So that might be a problem. All right, hey, we're doing WeatherCon, not tomorrow, but next Saturday. Frontiers of Flight Museum at Love Field. It's from 9:30 to 1:30. You don't have to get there when it starts. You can show up at 10:30 or 11 or noon or whenever your kid's soccer game's over. But it's hosted by our meteorologist for WBAP, Brad Barton, and he's letting some of the guys from WFAA in the building as well. There will be all kinds of educational demonstrations for the kiddos, storm chasing vehicles, a lot of fun. I'll be there. I think I have to be there for the whole thing. So come say hi to me if you feel like it. So look for it, all details on WBAP.com. WeatherCon, April 27th. Stay put. We'll be right back with more of The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Here at Massey, we know a thing or two about bugs. We've been keeping pests out of homes for almost 100 years. Our customized pest prevention program keeps bugs outside, in their home, not yours. Because when we prevent pests from getting in, we protect health, home, and family. Make your home a Massey home. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
America starts the day with America in the Morning.
Is among those lawmakers who remain
Hi, I'm John Trout, your host for the latest news, politics, entertainment, business, and weather.
About the impact of new regulations on the mortgage lending industry.
Our staff of correspondents provide a fast-paced look at the world with specialized reports from where news happens.
They see an uptick in adoption of the new artificial intelligence tool.
Concise, accurate, and fresh each day.
America in the Morning, the podcast, available wherever you listen.
As the weather starts to heat up, I'm dreaming of barbecues and relaxing under that huge pecan tree in my backyard. But a sickly tree with yellow leaves, maybe some dead branches, not very relaxing. And me trying to trim a tree on a ladder, well, that's an ER trip waiting to happen. So I did the smart thing. I called Save a Tree because they're the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Lambo here, they didn't just save my tree. They gave my entire yard a full evaluation. My trees, shrubs, lawn went from looking tired to being the envy of the neighborhood. Save a Tree was able to turn my yard into an oasis. They can do the same thing for you. They reshaped my trees. No more branches hanging over the house. Those yellow leaves and dead branches, they're gone. The lawn is now green and healthy. There are no more diseased shrubs. Save a Tree is like having Mother Nature on speed dial. My yard has never looked this good. Save a Tree is the best upgrade I've ever made to my home. Just visit saveatree.com. Have them work their magic on your yard too. That's saveatree.com. SaveAtree.com.
Bob Lavelle for Home Marketing Services. HMS has been helping folks get out of the rent race for about 30 years now. We've helped over 10,000 families in DFW do just that. Many of our clients have been renting for 10, 15, even 20 years or more. We always ask why. The answer is pretty much the same. Don't think I'll qualify. Credit, income, down payment. Look, here's the hard part. Pick up the phone today and schedule a totally free, no obligation evaluation and find out truly exactly where you stand. Is it worth an hour of your time to stop making the landlord richer instead of you? Call today, 972-392-9595. That's 972-392-9595. Or go to blessyourheart.com. 972-392-9595. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Spring is here, which means it's time to enjoy better weather, longer days, and brighter colors. And thanks to the excellent offers at Park Place Lexus, you can also enjoy the elevated luxury and stunning design of a brand new Lexus vehicle. This month, receive up to $3,000 lease cash on select new models like the 2024 ES, IS, and RX. Best of all, every Lexus comes backed with expert service from certified master technicians to keep your car running smoothly. You can even skip the wait and schedule your service appointment totally online for maximum convenience. No matter which model you're looking for, you'll enjoy the exceptional dealer experience from the experts in excellence at Park Place. So head to Park Place Lexus in Plano or Grapevine or visit parkplace.com for all your automotive needs.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
My name is Annie, and I have been taking Balance of Nature for over 2.5 years. I mean, this one thing I told my son, I said, if anything ever happens to me, the one thing I want is my Balance of Nature. I don't care if I don't have anything else, but you make sure you order that for me every month. I tell everybody about Balance of Nature. I feel like everybody ought to take them.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station.
Trending now.
Police give details after a man set himself on fire outside the Trump trial courthouse. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have about a 15-minute delay heading down the southbound Dallas North Tollway because of a crash at Spring Valley that's blocking the right lane. Expect to be stop and go from around Trinity Mills. They cleared a crash that was on 30 eastbound at Bass Pro Drive. Still have slow traffic on Winding from Rose Hill Road. That's going to be about 10 minutes of extra commute time. Still dealing with construction on both sides of I-20 at Bonneview. They've closed down the left lane both east and westbound. Give yourself about 15 to 20 minutes there. And in Arlington, we have a new crash on 20 eastbound at Bowman Springs. It's blocking one right lane, causing about a 20 to 25 minute delay back from Wichita Street. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones. I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
Cools off a bit further this weekend and the rain chances going up. A few clouds around the rest of the day. Dry for the rest of your Friday. Highs in a low to mid 70s. Rain showers and a few storms late tonight. Low 58. Showers and a few storms on Saturday. A high of 61. This weather report sponsored by Navage. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
68 degrees in Dallas, 67 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Novak Motors. A man set himself on fire outside the Manhattan Criminal Court during former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York. New York Police Department Chief Jeffrey Madre gave the latest information this afternoon and the condition of the victim.
We're able to extinguish the fire, and from that point, we remove him to a Cornell burn unit, where right now he's there in a critical condition.
Police say the man tossed numerous sheets of paper in the air before dousing himself in an accelerant and lighting himself on fire. Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, the jury, along with 6 alternates, were seated ahead of opening statements, which could come next week. Texans are remembering a tragedy in Waco that occurred 31 years ago today.
The Waco siege began after Branch Davidian leader David Koresh and his followers had a deadly shootout with federal agents 2 months earlier.
Never will I
never appreciate somebody coming here with 2 helicopters and pushing people around with guns. Hey, I'll meet you at the doorstep any day. If you want to keep playing that game, I'm talking to you. Somebody's going to get hurt.
On April 19, 1993, a 51-day standoff between federal agents and Branch Davidians tragically ended with gunshots and a massive fire that killed nearly 80 people. Mike Trena, WBAP News.
Your money news: Netflix gained another 9.3 million subscribers to start the year, while its profits soared with the help of a still emerging expansion into advertising, but caught investors off guard with a change that will make it more difficult to track the video streaming service's future growth. The performance demonstrated that Netflix is still building on its momentum of last year when it began a crackdown on freeloading viewers. The Dow closing up 211 points, NASDAQ down 319, the S&P 500 off by 44. Again, the high today 71. It is 68 in Dallas, 67 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 3:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. WBAP salutes Lowry Crossing. Lowry Crossing, thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Will Height Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to willheightwins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. Let's go. I know we've been doing some serious, not fun, newsy topics, people setting themselves on fire or whatnot, but this is a Friday topic for you right here. You're going to like this one. I mean, it's weird. It's kind of uncomfortable, but it's kind of funny. Do you know what a furry is? Your kids probably know what a furry is. If you know what a furry is, it's a sinner. How do you know that? You're not supposed to know such things. But several students and a few adults actually participated in a walkout at a middle school this week, protesting the school's handling of furries. What? Carol Lieberman back on the James Show. Board certified psychiatrist. This is who we need to talk to. Psychiatrist. Is there anybody who is a furry who doesn't have some sort of psychiatric condition?
Probably not.
All right. Do you want to explain what a furry is? Because it sounds awful coming from me.
I don't know how much better it's going to be coming from me, but it is where people, well, actually, it started as a sexual fetish among adults. You know, years ago, that is what it was. And it has become also, or most noticeably, something that kids are doing. That is thinking, believing, ascribing human characteristics to animals and becoming that animal. Some people are more delusional about it than others. You know, some just see it as a fun kind of thing, but others really take it to a higher level in terms of believing that they are the dog or the wolf or whatever animal that they want to be.
Yeah, there's been an evolution in the furry community from my observation, because it used to be someone, I don't know, just like a bulldog, like a high school mascot, and they got turned on by hanging out with like the San Diego chicken or something. But not only did it move to kids, it stopped being like a fantasy role play, and the people think that they actually are these animals. We'd covered this previously on the James Show. Some of them call themselves Therians. Are you familiar with that term, Carol?
Yes. You know, well, for example, the article that just came out recently had to do with students walking out of a school in Utah, Mount Nebo Middle School, and they were having a protest against the furries. And the school had a dress code that says you're not supposed to wear anything that is very distracting. So like jewelry, for example, super ornate jewelry or other kinds of things. You know, they weren't counting originally on furries.
Right, on someone showing up in a Chuck E. Cheese outfit, right.
Right. And so so the kids and their parents put together a campaign, you know, just humans on campus. We don't want animals.
All right, brilliant. So what was the problem these furry kids were causing? I think your cell phone broke up. Did you hear me there? Carol, you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, there you go. Now we can hear you again. So talk about some of the problems these furry kids were causing besides just, you know, stretching the dress code.
Yes, they were also apparently nipping at their classmates, acting like the animals that they were dressed to be. And of course, the school is denying that any of this has happened. But kids wouldn't just make this up out of thin air. And what's really kind of what this shows, though, is a big, it's an example. It's one more element of how kids, or the mental problems of kids, how society is driving kids crazy, basically, and how, whether it's they're out for attention or they really, the key thing is that they're trying to escape from the real world. So it's similar to children who are sort of convinced by their teachers to give up the gender that they were born as and to become some other mixture of that. That's also a way to escape from the real world. And of course, furries take it that much further.
Carol Lieberman, I have 4 kids. What if one of them comes to me and says, Dad, I think I'm a furry? What do you recommend?
Well, I recommend you asking him about it. What makes you think that? What kind of furry do you think you are? Why do you think you're a such and such? Like, for example, there's a difference in a child who chooses a cat to be, a sweet little pussy cat, versus someone who chooses a wolf to be. So you can get some, why did you pick that animal? Have you been bullied in school? Are you feeling that you're not strong enough to interact with some of the kids, or some of them picking on you? Like, you can tell from what they choose, what their problems are, what they're trying to escape from. And that's another thing, asking them what is bothering you, like what made you to suddenly decide this. I mean, you have to really, of course it's hard, but you have to try to be non-judgmental at the beginning in order to find out more about what the issue is. And then, whether you have the tolerance for going along with them trying it for a little while, but not obviously to an extent. I mean, for example, if they were trying it, they wanted you to buy them a costume. Okay, how did that make you feel when you were being this furry? That kind of thing. But obviously, ideally, it does signal that the child would benefit from some psychiatric evaluation in any case.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Carol Lieberman, America's psychiatrist, for talking about this issue of furries in school. Of all the things we had to deal with growing up, we didn't have to deal with this, Carol.
That's true.
All right. Thanks for being on the James Show. Do y'all have furries at your kids' schools? I need to look. Ideally, I would like to talk to a furry. Are you a furry? You like to put on some sort of animal costume? Is that where you get your jollies from? Please, I would like to hear that explanation. I'll be nice. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to play the Flipper theme song or anything like that. I would like to talk to you. Or if you have an observation of some other kid, or your kid's going through it, or something's going on at your kid's school, I need to hear these stories, because I've seen stuff online about a school putting a litter box in the bathroom to accommodate these people. And I think that's where I would draw the line. If you wanted to come to school in a costume, fine. Where I'm from, they would just make fun of you. They would ridicule you out of existence, pretty much. I think that would take care of itself. But the litter box, the biting, the scratching, the air freshener, barking at students, chasing them around. No. There's tolerance, and then there's too much. What do you think? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. It's the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Monday at 5:47, nearly 40% of people planning their summer vacations are willing to go into debt to do it. We'll talk with a bank rate analyst about that.
And at 8:21, the FBI says a cyber attack on our infrastructure could be just around the corner.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Mary, and Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton with your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports, and Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Monday's WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because Rhino Shield is backed by a 25-year warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick. Call now for your free estimate. 844-RHINO-28. That's 844-RHINO-28. Or visit RhinoShieldTX.com. That's RhinoShieldTX.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
RhinoShieldTX.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct Spring Sale. This is your last chance to get 20% off store-wide. Plus, book an appointment and you'll get an additional $100 off your purchase. You don't want to miss this. 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. And a huge selection of the latest styles with in-store designer appearances. 20% off ends this Sunday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
If you thought booking your timeshare was difficult before, you know it's almost impossible now. For more than a decade, Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For free, no-obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
This report is sponsored by Texas 811. April is National Safe Digging Month. Learn how you can dig safely by visiting texas811.org/National Safe Digging Month. That's texas811.org/National Safe Digging Month. Every dig counts. Know what's below. Always contact 811 before digging.
We have a new crash in Tarrant County, partially blocking the exit ramp from eastbound 183 to Bedford-Euless Road. Traffic stacking up back around the 820 split. Arlington, you still have a wreck on 20 eastbound at Bowman Springs. It's blocking the right lane, causing about a 15 to 20-minute jam from Wichita Street. We have a new crash in Arlington, 20 westbound at Little Road. 2 left lanes gone here. For now, you have about a 5 to 10-minute delay built up from Park Springs. And in Garland, still dealing with a wreck on southbound 635 at La Prada. It's blocking the right center lane. You have about a 15 to 20-minute delay built up from Northwest Highway. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by CarsForKids.org.
CarsForKids.org, the best vehicle donation program that takes kids from surviving to thriving. Donate your old vehicle to CarsForKids.org. It's so easy and pickup is free. Plus, you'll receive a $50 Visa gift card. CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
All opinions matter.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Akbar Leibowitz on Facebook. I doubt that's their real name, but they commented on what we're talking about here. Gosh, I miss the days when there was no trans, fentanyl, and furries at school. Oh, hashtag Calgon take me away. Ooh, that's an obscure pop culture reference. I remember those commercials. Anyone under 30, that used to be a commercial. Calgon, take me away, just so you know. But we had the issue here with a school walkout. There was a middle school in Utah where they're having issues with furries that seem to have gotten out of control. And where you and I didn't have to deal with this when we were in school. Some of y'all are having to deal with this now. And I do not envy you. To the phones we go. Have you seen this at your kid's school? 800-288-9227. Paul and Justin, you're on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, James. So my daughter goes to a big high school out near Justin. I won't say the name of it. But she sends me pictures. She'll text me pictures of these kids, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. It's insane. But, something I got thinking about is all these kids have grown up with social media their entire lives. They've spent more time on a computer than they have outside playing sports, hunting, fishing, running around with their friends, doing stuff. They're on a computer in a pretend world where they can be anything they want. Now it's to the point they can't separate that from reality. And what really shocks me is the parents that let this happen. How involved are these parents? They put a laptop, a computer, or a cell phone in front of their kids and said, hey, this will take care of you so I can do whatever I want instead of being a parent.
Well, I also think
blows my mind.
this is one of the accidental things that we lost. When we got rid of bullying so much, bullying somewhat serves a purpose. You can take it too far. I like to give the example. He might be listening now. Sorry, Matt. But my first college roommate, his name's Matt. When he was a younger kid, he was a little fat kid. And when he got into high school, there was a girl he liked who said, I don't want to date you because you're fat. And his name rhymes with fat. So being called Fat Matt just rolled off the tongue of everyone in his he went to another bug tussle, tiny town, like a 3A school. And because people bullied him so much, he decided he's not going to be the fat kid anymore. He joined the track team. By the time he graduated, he was tall and svelte and kind of jacked. And he got the girl that turned him down when he was a freshman. And he turned his life around all because of what? A little bit of bullying. Now, it can be taken too far. If you see a kid that's overweight, you shouldn't ridicule him into suicide. You shouldn't take him behind the cafeteria and beat him into a pulp. But I just think if this happened when I was growing up in my school in Bug Tussle, someone shows up in a dog or a cat outfit or dressed like Garfield or something, they would get ridiculed out of existence. They would.
Oh, they better be in a school play at least. My dad worked in the oil field and he was a biker, and I'm just trying to think if I'd have come and told my dad, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm a furry," I'd probably still be in a coma.
Yeah. He would slap my face right off my head. All right. Thank you very much, Paul and Justin. And lovingly slap my face right off my head. Kyle and Ada, you're on the James Show. What do you think?
Well, two comments. We're all products of nature and nurture. And I agree with you that a little bit of ribbing as part of our growing up nurture is not a horrible thing. But here's my primary comment. I do wish that the psychologist or psychiatrist, wherever she was, I wish she had pointed to this. I think most of these kids, once you get past the joking around phase, we need to look to how they're being raised, and something is lacking. And let me just also say this. It could be as simple as we all have a crazy cat aunt or grandmother, right? I mean, we know people that treat their animals better than they treat their children. And I think some of these kids literally are putting on this personality and this form, not only for attention, but for love and being seen as good as the household pet. And then it just really goes too far. So I think the best thing that we could do for our children in public schools today is to protect them and to also protect the child that's displaying this behavior and get them some mental health.
Bring back the bullies, I say, Kyle. I think some well-placed ridicule would show these kids it's not cool, because that's what they're looking for. Acceptance. They're looking for something, not just acceptance, but so they're just not this regular old normal evil white heterosexual Christian male. You get to be something special. No, I'm not just a boring one of a bazillion. I am something special. I'm a bearded vulture therian. Remember that lady? Asa, the bearded vulture therian. Let's go to Vinny. Who spells Vinny? V-E-N-Y. Don't you think it's V-I-N-N-I-E or V-I-N-N-Y? V-E-N-Y, Vinny? All right, Vinny, in Peak View, you're on the James Show. What do you think about all this?
When I'm actually still in high school, so I'm able to give like a unique perspective of what's happening.
All right, Vinny, what's happening?
So basically, these days it's really hard to feel loved in your original state, and so that's why I feel as if a lot of my fellow high schoolers, they take these identities and they apply it to themselves, and I'm actually one of them.
You're a furry?
So I am a furry.
Fantastic. What kind of furry? What do you identify as? What's your stereotype?
I'm a cat therian.
Fantastic. Do you prefer litter box?
Oh yeah, of course.
Have you do you have a litter box at home that you use instead of the toilet?
I in fact actually do have a litter box. I use my cat's actual litter box. So.
Ooh, you better have some good aim. What do you do about the toilet paper situation?
Well, I've seen that over time that I really prefer the natural way of doing things, and naturally, cats didn't have toilet paper, and so I end up just not wiping.
Do you use your hand or just nothing?
I mean, I use my hand sometimes, but it really depends on how I feel that day.
Yeah, probably how solid it is too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
if
cats
it's really wet, then I'm forced to use it.
Right. So cats have the added advantage, anatomically speaking, they can lick themselves clean. You can't do that even if you wanted to. What do you do instead?
I mean, I can't lick myself clean.
Right.
But, so what I do is that I take this kind of I built this myself, but it's kind of like a stick with a little thing at the end that has something equivalent to a tongue. So in my case, it's a sponge, and I use that to wipe myself instead because I feel as if that's the equivalent to a tongue that I can use.
Now, did you learn that from My 600-Pound Life, or are you in like a Therian group on Reddit and y'all discuss these options yourself? Because that's actually the stick with the sponge on the end of it. That's what they use in those public Roman bathhouses where there was like a dozen dudes sitting around all dropping a deuce at the same time.
Well, what ended up happening was that when I was younger, I joined a Facebook group called Cat Therians Online, and they taught me all of the ways that I use now.
This is all fantastic. Can you hang on, Vinny?
Of course.
All right, I'm going to take a break. We're going to continue with Vinny, the cat therian here in the DFW area, who's still in high school, and he's explaining a lot of this to me. You're a gift. I really appreciate you calling in. I've been dying to talk to one of you on the show for a while, so stick with me. We'll continue with Vinny next. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Getting to your goal weight is just the beginning of the support you'll get from Soda Weight Loss, because so many plans can get you there and then leave you to figure out the best of it on your own. Not with Soda. Their nutritionists are always ready to help you stay on track with real guidance, real plans, and daily input to help you keep that fat off for good. I'm Ernie Brown. I'm 20 pounds lighter than I was before starting Soda Weight Loss. That's SOTA Weight Loss. That was a couple of years ago, and it's gone for good. Just take a look at any of the over 8,700 Google reviews or any of the thousands of before and after pictures. That could easily be you. Yes, it could. Soda is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and client results. And they have the proof at sodaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com. Start the change today. Make that difference in your life you've always dreamed of making. Go to sodaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com, and watch the pounds start coming off. Soda is, say it with me now, state of the art.
It's been over 30 years since a major lake was built in Texas until now. Introducing Bodark Shores, the most exciting lake community in Texas, is having the grand opening of its final phase Saturday, May 4th. Watch the video tour at 888-608-LAKE.com. We all know the opportunity it was to buy on the lakes around Dallas before houses were built, before the price appreciation. Here's your new ground floor opportunity just north of DFW Saturday, May 4th. A breathtaking private property, and the price is a dream come true. 888-608-LAKE.com. Estate-sized lake properties from only $99.9. A prestigious gated entrance, quiet fields, ancient oaks, heavy weather boat slips, and lakeside park. Designed for a lucky few to make every day feel like a luxurious vacation. Be the first generation to own lake property here. Call for your invitation to the May 4th grand opening event. Space is limited. 888-608-LAKE or click 888-608-LAKE.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
A lot of times people don't understand what a supplement is. A supplement is in addition to your regular foods. It's really just an incredible formula, and I've been doing nutrients for 43 years. It has a tremendous effect on how I feel, my well-being. I love the way it gives me all my supplements for fruits and vegetables, which I take a lot of anyway. But I find that this gives me that supplement that I was missing before.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
If you're confused about what kind of new car to get, where to get it, what to do with your old car, or whether or not you should buy or lease, you need to tune in to the Car Pro Show. Jerry Reynolds, the Car Pro here. Every Saturday, I give you 2 hours of straight talk and honest answers about everything automotive, and I can hook you up for a great deal and a wonderful experience. That's the Car Pro Show, Saturday mornings, 9 to 11, with my trusty sidekick, Kevin McCarthy, right here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This is Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. I don't have a funny nickname or a silly TV spot. We do have over 40 years experience fighting for injured North Texans and low pre-suit fees. Being local matters, and we win. Call me, 214-INJURED, mullenandmullen.com.
Hear the roar of Mount Vesuvius. Experience the aftermath it left behind. See incredible discoveries from Pompeii, the immortal city, at the Arlington Museum of Art, now through June 23rd. Get tickets at arlingtonmuseum.org.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
A man sets himself on fire outside a Trump trial courthouse. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in Fort Worth blocking the left lane of northbound 35W at Northside Yucca. You have about a 20-minute jam on your way out of downtown. Hurst, eastbound 183, they've now closed down the exit ramp at Bedford Euless because of a crash. This is causing about a 5 to 7 minute jam from the 820 split. A crash was cleared in Arlington, 20 eastbound at Bowman Springs, but you still have 120 westbound at Little Road. 2 left lanes gone here. That's about a 5 to 10 minute slowdown from Park Springs. A couple of new crashes in Dallas. Woodall Rogers, westbound at Field Street, your right lane's blocked. Give yourself about 5 to 10 extra minutes from the 75 entrance. On 75 southbound, you have one at Spring Valley blocking 2 right lanes. That's another 10 or so minute jam from Arapahoe. And you still have a wreck in Garland, southbound 635 at La Prada. It's adding close to an extra half hour of commute time from Garland Road. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones. I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got them. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, partly sunny this afternoon, a high around 71 degrees. It is 69 in Dallas, 68 in Fort Worth. A man set himself on fire outside the courthouse where a jury and alternates were seated in the criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. He's identified as a Florida man who recently traveled to New York. Police say the man did survive but is in a local burn unit in critical condition. Other people who tried to extinguish the fire were treated for minor injuries. The world is scrambling for a resolution to a conflict in the Middle East that some believe is on the verge of expanding. CIA Director Bill Burns says Hamas is still holding hostages and negotiations are ongoing.
It's proven very difficult. It's a big rock to push up a very steep hill right now. I meet with the families of hostages, and it breaks your heart because you can see in very human terms what's at stake here as well.
Burns spoke to a leadership forum at the Bush Center in Dallas this week. Your Money News: prices for homes and rent are rising. Fox Business's Jeff Flock breaks down what that means for the average American.
Nationwide now, just short of $2,000 for the average or the median apartment rent. That's not up much in the last year, but if you think pre-pandemic, yeah, we're up over 20%. And in some markets, Providence, Rhode Island, for example, Jacksonville, Florida, San Jose, up just in the last year, 16, 10, 9%, big time. And the single-family home now, that's not uncommon to rent. That used to be just apartments, right?
Rent.com says the national median price of an apartment in March was over $1,900. The Dow closed up 211 points. NASDAQ lost 319. The S&P 500 fell by 44. Again, the high today around 71. It is 69 in Dallas, 68 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Seems like a roller coaster ride sometimes following sports here in North Texas. Busy one week, not so much the next week. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are focused on the NFL draft. That's coming up next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Rangers are out of town, Mavericks are leaving town, and the Stars don't have a game on home ice until next Monday in the Stanley Cup playoffs. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Cowboys with the 24th pick in the first round of the draft next Thursday from Detroit, where common sense says they've got to get somebody who can help them on that offensive line. But with Jerry Jones, you just never know who he's going to pull the trigger on. Rangers are going to spend the weekend in Atlanta against Major League Baseball's best team right now. The Braves are 12-5. The Rangers 11-9, but hanging on to first place in the AL West. Mavs leaving for the West Coast in L.A. to play the Clippers Sunday and Tuesday at Crypto.com Arena. Before that series shifts to Dallas next Friday and Sunday. And then you've got the Western Conference champion Dallas Stars getting ready for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Games on the Big Ice and Big D next Monday and Wednesday. And last but not least, for you soccer fans, FC Dallas at home Saturday night at Toyota Stadium in a game against the Colorado Rapids. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'm Steve Lamb, WBAP Sports.
News that matters to you and your family.
News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. On the phone is Vinny, a furry in a local high school. What high school did you say you go to, Vinny?
I go to Creekview High School.
Creekview High School. Does Creekview High School allow you to dress up as a furry in class?
Well, they've been very accepting of me. Originally, I was very scared to wear my fursuit outside of my home. But recently, I've been wearing it every single day at school.
We're skeptical this is real. Like, why are you listening to WBAP if you're a high school furry?
I mean, we turned on the radio because we were just messing around. And now that I heard the word furry, and I knew I had to call in because I had to represent.
Had to represent the Therians out there, huh? This sounds like something I would call in, though, if I was a senior in high school, just to be funny.
I'm sure it could sound like that, but I'm really honest about who I am as a person, and I really want my voice to be outspoken. And so that's the reason I'm calling.
Okay, well, we'll continue, but just let there be a point of skepticism in the court records here. How much of this is a sex thing, Vinny? Your need to dress up as a Therian, to dress up as a furry?
Well, I'll be honest. It's not like I get that much in the words of sex, but when I do, I've found that it's really fulfilling when I really am an animal, because just small things that I do in the bedroom make it a lot better to me. Things like howling and stuff of that sort, it just makes it better.
See, my friend that was a trans that died a couple years ago, that was his deal. He just thought, he could do sex and just to do normal stuff, but it was just a little bit better, had a little bit more spice on it when he was dressed up as well. Vinny, have you been traumatized or have some sort of history of abuse? You don't have to give any specifics, but I read that most Therians that are kind of dealing with a PTSD or some other abuse or trauma.
Well, I'm not going to go much into detail because I don't want to bring it back up. But
a yes will be fine.
Yeah, I am dealing with a couple of different illnesses that I had in the past, and my family situation wasn't great before, so that might have been why I was in tune with my furry side and why I ended up becoming a cat Therian. But now that I am here, I have noticed that I enjoy it a lot more, than I did before, and it's just made life a lot more bearable.
Yeah, it seems in our society sort of supplanted. When I was a kid, people would have double personalities. They would be bipolar, and they would develop this other persona to separate themselves from the ones that's traumatized. Y'all doing the same thing. You just happen to throw in some furs and whiskers along with it. Do you think this is a permanent situation, though, or do you think this identity will fade as the real Vinny becomes more developed and becomes more accomplished on his own?
Well, to me, my furry identity has just become part of me. Like my cat identity has just become a part of who I am.
So there's not a Vinny and the cat version of Vinny. It's all the same guy?
Well, I actually have another name for when I'm in that state.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there's this thing called personas, and that's exactly what I mean when I dress up as a cat. So my real name is Vinny, but when I am dressed as a cat, they call me Jimmy.
Jimmy? You should have gone with like Garfield or Heathcliff or something cool. But I understand. All right, I'm going to pass along some questions I'm getting from social media. So these aren't necessarily coming from me. The first question that came through is, do you have a girlfriend?
Actually, I do have a girlfriend, but I met her online through this game called Roblox, so I'm not sure if we'll ever meet or not, but it's just like a little thing for fun.
So you have an online-only girlfriend that's a long-distance situation?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where she lives, though.
You have a girlfriend, but you don't know where she lives. Interesting. Is your favorite band the Stray Cats?
Oh, that's actually a great question, but my favorite band is Dance Gavin Dance.
Good answer. Good answer. Another question is, this isn't me, so I'm not asking. People want to know. Do you have a job?
I mean, I was employed at my school previously because I would help out around cleaning, so I would help out with janitorial work. But that time has passed, and yeah, I am unemployed.
What are you going to do about college?
So there's a couple of different options I'm looking at, but right now I'm thinking I might just start applying for jobs. I'm not sure if I want to go to college. I'm not sure if it's for me. Community college sounded like a great idea, but classes are hard, and I don't know if I'd last.
Wow, man! If you're willing to look up all this Therian stuff, and have online girlfriends and stuff, it sounds like you're pretty plugged into technology and culture, and could keep up if you wanted to. This is starting to sound dissociative. What do you think to the people who think you just need to go jump into therapy as fast as you can and get this fixed?
Well, the people who say that, people who say that, it's just being a cat is just a part of who I am, and I don't think any amount of therapy will ever change the type of person I've become. So, yeah, I could go to therapy, but I don't think there's anything to fix because I feel as if my identity itself is already beautiful.
I hear you. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you putting up with all our questions because, we're just a bunch of old fuddy-duddies trying to figure out what you kids are doing these days. And look, if you're real, I really appreciate that. If not, you're not real, I'm very impressed that you kept it going this long and didn't break character.
Of course.
All right. Well, Vinny, I'm happy to have you listen to the show. Listen to future shows. Give me a call back anytime. You can just be like, hey, man, it's Vinny the Furry. We'll put you right through, okay?
Okay. I'll make sure to do that.
All right. Everybody, you just met Vinny the Cat Therian, a real live high school furry. All right, coming up next, we're going to play Name That Artist. Here's the montage. If you know all 10 of these artists and you want to go see Little Big Town and Sugarland November 22nd in Fort Worth, you're gonna call. But let's see if you know these 10 songs first. Hit it.
Standing on a corner at midnight, trying trying to get my courage up.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone.
Rosanna started had a call, she looked to drive. Stole the keys one night and took me for a ride. I never knew there'd come a day when I'd be saying to you, don't let this good love slip away. I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time. 'Cause when you're standing oh so near,
All right, so that's the montage. If you recognize all 10 of those artists and you want to go see Little Big Town with Sugarland and the Costellos. You know the Costellos? It's a little family band of sisters, and they're local. They look like they're models. It's like, y'all sing country music? Okay. But they're going to be at Dickies November 22nd. If you want to go, and you can go November 22nd, and you know all those artists, you're going to call this number right now. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. If you got that, go grab a pen and paper. We'll play the montage when we get back from the break. You can write it all down and then just read it back to me. 800-288-9227. Name that artist next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
there's a time that I remember.
My memory is fine. I don't remember.
When the big stories break.
If you think I don't have the energy level of mental acuity, then you know, that's one thing.
Keep connected, DFW.
Memories bring back memories.
But I don't remember.
News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
This report is sponsored by Texas 811. April is National Safe Digging Month. Learn how you can dig safely by visiting texas811.org/National Safe Digging Month. That's texas811.org/National Safe Digging Month. Every dig counts. Know what's below. Always contact 811 before digging.
Here's automotive expert and nationally syndicated talk show host, Jerry Reynolds.
If you missed Truck Month, no worries, because the amazing truck and SUV deals roll on at the 4 DFW 5-star Ford dealerships. 2,669 new Fords are available right now, and they're running out of room. That means it's bargain time for Ford buyers. Get the super low rate of 1.9% APR for a full 72 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on all 2023 F-150s, except Raptor and Trimmer, with approved credit through FMCC, but they're running out of them quickly. SUV lovers, 2023 Bronco Sports, Explorers, and Escapes have 0% for 60 months, plus cash back of at least $750 while they last. Get the best deals in Texas at 5-star Ford in Carrollton, North Richland Hills, Louisville, or Dallas. Sampac.com.
We're taking care of business.
Here at Massey, we've seen the damage termites can cause. That's why we've been protecting homes from termite damage for almost 100 years. Our termite protection program, featuring Always Active Centricon system, doesn't just protect your home from termites, it gives you peace of mind. That's why our termite protection guarantee covers your home and everything in it. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
You know, semaglutide is now FDA approved for weight loss, but it's pretty pricey. You got to find a doctor, get weekly shots, or you can go to Red Mountain Weight Loss and try their exclusive oral full daily dose of semaglutide in a dissolvable tablet. And I've had no side effects. Oh, and it's about half the price of Ozempic. And with Red Mountain, you get a medical staff that can design a weight loss menu that fits your lifestyle, something you can stick with. You want to drop 15 pounds in a month's time? Go to redmountainweightloss.com. That's redmountainweightloss.com.
Fraudulent tax returns due identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Brought to you by the Common Sense Investing Show with Victor McClure.
Tune in to the Common Sense Investing Show with Victor McClure, now heard every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WBAP. Learn how to have a stress-free retirement and get great insights into the market. For more information or to hear an old show, go to ilovemyretirement.com.
We have about a 45-minute delay on southbound 635 because of a crash at La Prada, blocking 2 right lanes. Expect to be stop and go all the way back from Royal Miller. There's about a 5 to 10-minute jam on westbound Woodall Rogers because of a crash in 1 right lane at Field Street. You're stacking up as soon as you get on from 75. On 75, southbound at Spring Valley, you have another crash in the 2 right lanes. This one's causing about a 15-minute jam from Campbell Road. And in Hurst, you have a crash that's blocking the exit ramp from eastbound 183 to Bedford-Euless Road. That's causing a jam back from the 820 split. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Are your feet stopping you from being active and making it difficult to get healthier? Trade in your bad feet and start the new year with Good Feet and get healthy in 2024. Wouldn't it be nice to work, walk, and play pain-free again?
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. We are in the middle of Name That Artist. Yeah. So what we do here, we have a montage of 10 songs. If you can name all 10 of these artists, you got a pen and paper? Yeah, I just gave you a few minutes to go grab one. Or you can pull out a notepad window on your phone. Get ready to write down the artists for this montage. And if you get them all right, then you get to go see Little Big Town and Sugarland on us. It's November 22nd. Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. Okay, I'm gonna let you guess until you get it wrong, and then I'll go to the next guy. You call 800-288-9227. All right, montage one more time.
It's time to win back your love again. I will now. No, I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. I remember standing on the corner at midnight, trying to get my courage up.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone.
Rosanna started ahead of cause she loved to drive. Stole the keys one night and took me for a ride. I never knew there'd come a day when I'd be saying to you, don't let this good love slip away. I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time, 'cause when you're standing oh so near,
All right, with that, let's go to the phones. If you want to get in line in case these guys right here mess up, 800-288-9227. But maybe Ricky can pull it off. Rick in Mansfield, you're going to be first up on Name That Artist. You ready to give me the list?
Oh, boy, I guess. Let's go for it.
All right, number 1.
White Snake.
White Snake?
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Yeah, that's number 3.
That's number 3. Bengals are first, the number 1.
Okay, number 2.
Scorpions.
Okay, I missed that one, so you're already ahead of me. Number 3.
White Snake.
You get it right twice. Number 4.
Eddie Money.
Well, dude, you're out of order.
I'm out of order. I am. Man, I've always been out of order. Holy cow. I'm also from Chicago. That's the reason.
That's a valid excuse.
That is.
All right.
Cars are the fourth.
The cars are way down the list. How do you get this?
All right, you know what? Go to the next person. I'm all confused.
Look at him. He gave up. I like it when they voluntarily end their own turn. Mike and Waxahachie. Don't self-destruct on me. Give me your list on Name That Artist, sir.
All right. Number 4, Human League.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Bob Seger.
Bob Seger.
Pat Benatar.
Yep, I missed that one before the show, too.
Eddie Money.
Yep.
38 Special.
Missed that one. But yeah, you're right. You're correct. Cars.
And last but not least, Jackson 5.
Hey, look who won. All right. So Mike and Waxahachie, you are the big winner on today's episode of Name That Artist. Now, are you actually a fan of Little Big Town and or Sugarland?
My wife is.
All right. And you're actually going to go? Because if you take these tickets and not going to use them, I'd rather just give them to the next person.
No, I'm going to go.
Fantastic. That's what I like to hear. And for the rest of you, you can still get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. And I know there's already a ton of fans for Little Big Town and Sugarland out there. In fact, I'm not sure Sugarland shouldn't be headlining for Little Big Town. But the Costellos, I had to look them up I wanted to look them up just for this. Better than I expected. They may have a future. You may be in for a heck of a show. So thank you very much. Do not hang up. Mike and Waxahachie, Sean's going to get your information, and then you don't have to come pick up your tickets. They will email them to you. Stick around. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what's going on with the trial, besides the guy setting himself on fire, that's happening for Trump in New York City with James Varney from Real Clear Politics and Real Clear Investigations. Next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
At the Wilhite Law Firm, we handle accident cases differently. If you're injured, we'll drive to your home to meet you. We'll return every call and keep you updated every step of the way. Here's the difference. We were awarded Best Law Firm in 2023 because we work with you side by side. We win big for our clients. Texas-size settlements big. Get your free case review at willhitewins.com. That's willhitewins.com. willhitewins.com. Don't delay. Click today.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
I'm a pilot, martial artist, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet.
Do you want to be more active and start exercising but can't because you know you are going to have pain or discomfort? Listen to Randy and his real experience at the Good Feet store.
When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better, and Good Feet has saved the day.
We want to help you get back to doing the things you love. Find the closest Good Feet store to you at goodfeet.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more.
There is no appointment necessary. Just stop in and learn how Good Feet can help you find relief with no shots, no medication, and no surgery.
Will your retirement dreams survive the next market crash? Do you have a plan for a potential 30, 40, or even 50% fall? Imagine the sacrifices you may have to make. Would you be forced to unretire? Hi, I'm Ken Moray, founder and CEO of Retirement Planners of America, here to invite you to one of our free retirement planning seminars. We'll explain our invest and protect strategy and how it is designed to protect you from the next bear market. We want your money to last as long as you do. We'll also discuss Social Security, Medicare, retirement cash flow, and more. Don't miss out on this free opportunity to expand your retirement knowledge. Sign up for a seminar today.
Call now, 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
Retirement Planners of America, RPOA.com.
Howdy, folks. Crazy dealer here, and y'all know how we're turning into a woke and politically correct society. It gets harder and harder to run my ads, so I gotta change things up a little. Here goes our new politically correct spot. Howdy, folks. Crazy Pew Pew dealer here, inviting y'all to come and see us in Alvarado for the best Pew Pew deals and selection around. If you're looking for a cordless hole puncher, we got them. How about a new pump action freedom dispenser for your home? Or all of you looking for something to carry? We have a huge selection of Rudy Tooty point and shooties just for you. And as always, every Pew Pew comes with free LTC and constitutional carry classes. And we offer free test firing on most common Rudy Tooty point and shooties. Plus, if we don't already have the best price you've found, we'll beat any price Pew Pew to Pew Pew, and we'll do it with a smile. Because absolutely nobody wants your Pew Pew business more than the crazy Pew Pew dealer in Alvarado. Y'all come see us now.
All offers on Pew Pews, Freedom Dispensers, and Rudy Tooty Clean Shooties subject to change restrictions. See store for complete details.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Mortgage rates are lower going into the spring selling season. Chris Waters has the plan and experience to sell your home fast for maximum cash. Are you worried about getting one of those low-ball instant offers? Chris Waters is the real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Waters Realty guarantees an offer for full market value up front on qualified homes. With Chris Waters, there are no required costly repairs. You can pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Megan and James were empty nesters ready to cash in on their equity and have some fun. Their prior real estate agent failed to deliver a decent offer in more than 60 days. They changed to Waters Realty. The marketing blitz was launched and got the offer they wanted in less than a week. Call the agent who guarantees an offer for full market value upfront on qualified homes. Call the team I recommend, Chris Waters and Waters International Realty, to see if your home qualifies at 214-689-6646 or go to ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
A man sets himself on fire outside the courthouse in New York where the Trump trial was underway. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
635 southbound at La Prada, the right lane taken away for the wreck. Back up there to Abrams. Also I-20 east and westbound between, well, basically Bonnie View and Lancaster Road. They've got the left lane blocked in each direction for road work there. Woodall Rogers westbound at Field. That one's in the right lane. It's heavy to I-45. At 75 southbound at Spring Valley Road, the wreck's cleared up, but it's heavy back to Renner Road. From WBAP's First Traffic on the Ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Mariel Ruiz. We're expecting rain to return Friday night through Sunday morning. There will be some breaks in the rain, but do plan on it being raining most of the time. We'll pick up anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, but temperatures holding steady close to 60 degrees most of the day Saturday. Rain thins out throughout Sunday morning.
71 degrees in Dallas, 69 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mueller, Inc. A man set himself on fire outside the Manhattan Criminal Court during former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kinney about a possible motive.
The pamphlets seem to be propaganda-based, almost like a conspiracy theory type of pamphlet. Some information in regards to Ponzi schemes and the fact that some of our local educational institutes are fronts for the mob. So a little bit of a conspiracy theory going on here.
Police say the man is alive but in critical condition and is receiving treatment for his injuries. Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, the jury was seated and opening statements are expected on Monday. One of the nation's worst single acts of domestic terrorism occurred on this day in 1995.
Security guard Timothy McVeigh parked a cargo truck filled with an ammonium nitrate bomb at the Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City before igniting it and killing 168 people and injuring 850. Then President George W. Bush announced the fate of the bomber in 2001.
This morning, the United States of America carried out the severest sentence for the gravest of crimes. The victims of the Oklahoma City bombing have been given not vengeance, but justice.
McVeigh was put to death while accomplices Michael Fortier and Terry Nichols were sentenced to prison. Mike Trina, WBAP News.
Your Money News, the 72nd annual Ennis Bluebonnet Trail Festival hits the city of Ennis this weekend with food, fun, music, and entertainment. The city's Liz Ortiz has a complete list of activities can be downloaded from the Ennis Y'all app.
We're going to have over 80 vendors, tasty food, carnival games for the kids. We have about 80 live music bands out here. We'll have our wine wander tent, our beer garden, and of course, the 40 miles of Bluebonnet Trail.
The Ennis Bluebonnet Trail Festival runs today through Sunday. The Dow closed up 211 points. NASDAQ lost 319. The S&P 500 down by 44. Again, the low tonight around 58 degrees. It is 71 in Dallas, 69 in Fort Worth. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 4:30. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Will Height Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to willheightwins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. You know, if you want to stop working hard and go ahead and mentally start the weekend, even though you're still at work for another hour, you have permission from The James Show to do so. We have some fun stories coming out, but there was a monkey wrench that made this segment less fun than expected. I was already going to talk to James Varney from Real Clear Politics and Real Clear Investigations about what's going on with Trump's court cases. But right before the show started, some weirdo came out and he self-immolated. He threw a bunch of pamphlets out, screamed a few things, put some lighter fluid on his clothing and his body, set himself on fire, and he's not dead yet. He's in critical condition. So, I mean, that aside, this was going to be a fun topic, but we have, you know, kind of a serious protest going on here. First off, James Varney, welcome back to the show.
Sure, happy to be here, James. Thanks for having me.
So I was trying to figure out more about this guy that self-immolated, because I know we've all had to play this contest. Can we blame Team Blue or Team Red on this, or does this make anyone look bad? I'm going to assume this is a guy who's just genuinely crazy and no one deserves any criticism. But other than that, this is still a pretty big circus that's going on in New York.
Right. I think you're right on both counts. He's obviously mentally ill, this guy. I don't know what's going to happen to him in terms of whether he lives or dies. I believe there's some stuff filtering out now that he's worried about fascism and all. I can understand that, but obviously, my goodness, very mentally sick man. Now, the circus is exactly the right word for what's going on. All the things that have happened, both in this trial and in the one that Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, brought, are all made up. And yet we are facing these very serious situations. And I find it, I mean, we're really far down the rabbit hole, it seems to me, James, that we have concocted, manufactured, clearly fabricated, everybody knows it, cases, but they're trying to put someone in jail. And I don't know how it's going to play out if he gets convicted, but I think that circus is it's a fun thing, and I don't know how fun this is. It seems kind of scary to me.
Well, the amount of stories and storylines and points of interest that we've had just from the jury selection are worth talking about, because we've all thought, you've thought it, I've thought it, everyone listening to us has thought, is there any way this guy could get a fair trial in New York City, or really anywhere in America? Who doesn't have a pre-existing opinion on Donald Trump, Varney?
No, I don't know anybody. And not only do they all have pre-existing opinions, they're very sharp opinions, right? I mean, nobody's kind of about Trump. So I think that in addition to the trouble that they've been having with the jury selection and the stuff that you talked about with them bringing up social media posts and whatnot of prospective jurors, that's all pretty interesting. But don't forget that, you know, Alvin Bragg, the district attorney bringing this case, is a radical activist who's not interested in prosecuting crime in New York. And he's concocted this case, bootstrapped a misdemeanor into a federal thing, and trying to make this literally a criminal offense when it's a misdemeanor.
Now, why do you think he's a radical activist? For me, this could be a guy who's just being politically pragmatic, because if he can put the skin on the wall as the guy who took down Trump, that would be great just for career purposes, not even born out of any ideology.
Well, I think that you're right about that, except that he's already been elected, and the ideology that you're talking about is this radical activism. I mean, if you did not have Trump, the things that Alvin Bragg is doing as the DA in New York are bad for New York. So, I mean, you saw that he just let the guys go that beat the cop in Times Square. I mean, he isn't prosecuting criminals. The bodega that Trump went up to, speaking of circus, you saw that where Trump went up to the bodega.
Yeah, but explain it to the guy listening like he doesn't know anything about it. I just heard about this earlier today.
Okay, so about a year ago, a bodega owner from the Dominican Republic has a store in Harlem. He's attacked by a woman and her boyfriend who I believe they stabbed him.
Right, it was a stabbing.
It's all on film. And he shot the attacker, the boyfriend, who died. Well, Bragg arrested him and wanted to charge him with murder. They put the guy in Rikers Island. There was just such a huge public outcry that he had to release him and then let him go. I believe that guy has gone back to the Dominican Republic and no longer lives in New York. But in any event, Trump made a trip up there to visit the bodega, and there was, huge crowds and throngs of people in Harlem to see Trump. People have been contrasting it with the nobody in the Wawa and the gas station in Pennsylvania where President Biden's been. So that contributes to the circus atmosphere, but all of that, it's fun for us to talk about, and it's interesting in terms of the politics of the campaign. But I still come back to the fact that they're trying to put this guy in jail. They're trying to convict him of a criminal offense. And I don't see anything else that I can point to in recent American history that compares with that.
Well, I look for those too. Yeah, I'm always looking for the closest comparison to a trial like this, and the one I can come up with, it's not the same, but it's the closest, was John Edwards with the Riley, whatever her name was, and he was having the affair with the lady who was, I don't know if she was really supposed to be a videographer that was making a documentary of his campaign, or if that was just an excuse to get his girlfriend on the payroll. But there was, wasn't there a trial about the miscategorization of her hush money, her non-disclosure agreement?
Yes, well, you're right. That, in terms of what the charges are, is pretty similar. That was a case. National Enquirer broke that story because the so-called mainstream media would not report on it, even though they knew Edwards was doing that.
Dude, the National Enquirer published pictures of them together for a month before the rest of the media picked it up.
Right. And maybe a better case or another parallel for your listeners especially was how they went after Tom DeLay and how they indicted Perry, I believe his name was, when he was governor of Texas. And that might have been Jack Smith, actually, the federal guy who was going after Trump as a special prosecutor after giving is he the one that gave Hunter the sweetheart deal? Whatever. He went after Tom DeLay, and I think that was a criminal case in Texas, which eventually wound up getting dismissed, but it did ruin DeLay politically. So maybe those are somewhat comparable, but none of that involved a guy that is one of the main party's candidates for president.
All right, James Varney, what's going on at Real Clear Investigations? We got like 30 seconds left.
Well, I hope you guys all saw Paul Sperry's story that we had this week about Eric Ciaramella, who was the alleged so-called whistleblower in the Trump impeachment stemming from the Ukraine phone call.
I don't think any of us saw that. Tell me about it.
Well, I would encourage all your listeners to go to Real Clear Investigations and look at Paul's story because it's very interesting, and it talks about how this guy really wasn't so much a whistleblower as he was somebody who was involved in the Biden family's suspicious money-making schemes going on in Ukraine. And he might, in fact, wind up being called as a witness in Biden's case by the House in their impeachment inquiry. So that's a story everybody should read.
All right. Thank you very much. This is James Varney, Real Clear Investigations, realclearpolitics.com. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James.
Whew, a lot going on there. Coming up, I have the audio of the day. It's going to come from Joe Biden speaking at a union event. That's next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
On the TuneIn, iHeart, Odyssey app, and a free download at the App Store. Take the WBAP app with you wherever you go. For the latest news, traffic, weather, and talk DFW, the free WBAP app.
Is it time to upgrade your investment strategy with a real fiduciary using great assets and high cash flow investments? I'm Spencer McGowan, host of NetWorthRadio.com and founder, McGowan Group Wealth Management, a team of 10. Alex Tolene, Chief Operating Officer. Tell us about the process.
We begin with the weekly investment committee Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. to discuss deletions, additions, and what's best for the portfolio. We have 10 dedicated team members working hard to fulfill your plan.
McGowan Group Wealth Management boasts 2 certified private wealth advisors, a certified investment management analyst, dedicated professionals with a sophisticated approach. NetWorthRadio.com. Come in for your office tour. We serve affluent families right from the Crescent in Dallas, and we look forward to upgrading your investment plan. NetWorthRadio.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm Dr. Michael Strasberg. I'm a dentist, and I've been taking Balance of Nature now for several years. In my practice, we talk to patients about their health, their nutrition, because the healthier you are, the healthier your mouth is. With Balance of Nature, I felt a noticeable difference. I felt better. Anytime you can feel better, I don't care what age you're at, that's a big plus, big plus.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code DALLAS.
It's been over 30 years since a major lake was built in Texas until now. Introducing Bodark Shores, the most exciting lake community in Texas, is having the grand opening of its final phase Saturday, May 4th. Watch the video tour at 888-608-LAKE.com. We all know the opportunity it was to buy on the lakes around Dallas before houses were built, before the price appreciation. Here's your new ground floor opportunity just north of DFW Saturday, May 4th. A breathtaking private property, and the price is a dream come true. 888-608-LAKE.com. Estate-sized lake properties from only $99.9. A prestigious gated entrance, quiet fields, ancient oaks, heavy weather boat slips, and lakeside park. Designed for a lucky few to make every day feel like a luxurious vacation. Be the first generation to own lake property here. Call for your invitation to the May 4th grand opening event. Space is limited. 888-608-LAKE or click 888-608-LAKE.com.
This report is sponsored by Texas 811. Curious about the paint and flags in your neighborhood? Visit texas811.org/everydaycounts to learn how these flags help keep you safe while digging. That's texas811.org/everydaycounts. Every dig counts. Know what's below. Always contact 811 before digging.
635 southbound at La Prada, the right lane taken away because of a crash. The backup there to Abrams. 75 north and southbound heavy around Royal Lane. Protesters on the overhead bridge there. Woodall Rogers westbound at Field, the right lane taken away. That's slowing you back to I-45. North Loop 820 eastbound at Roof Snow. The problem's on the shoulder. The 45-minute backup remains to Haltom Road. On WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by carsforkids.org.
Donate your old vehicle to carsforkids.org to make a difference in the lives of kids. Free towing from carsforkids.org, plus a $50 gift card.
Carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
All opinions matter.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. Joe Biden was speaking at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers earlier this week. And it's not that what he was saying is anything that's going to surprise you or blow your mind or whatever. There's just a couple of little clips where I was digging through here, and he just sounds kind of feeble. He just sounds so old. And not that disqualifies him or whatnot. But the concern is there because if you play the audio from this week with audio from years past, noticeable difference. Again, doesn't disqualify him from being president or whatnot. But for anyone who says there's no decline or I don't recognize any decline, it's really frustrating to hear that because you see and hear this with your own eyes.
The reason I got the first 4 years is the IBEW, and that's no malarkey. You guys stood up first.
And then they don't scroll the teleprompter, so he reads it again.
Kenny, thanks for that introduction. I tell you what, I caught the tail end of his little film there. Pretty impressive. Movie star. Look, most of all, I want to thank Kenny and all of you for your partnership and your friendship. Union workers, IBEW, I'm president, and that's no malarkey because of you. That's no joke. I wouldn't be standing here if you not stepped up when you did in 2020.
Yeah, he even said malarkey twice. There's no malarkey. And you hear if it sounds like it's edited, I have to keep jacking it up because he does this thing where he talks really loud and then he kind of mumbles and trails off like my children do when they're trying to tell me, hey, what do you think you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe a hamburger, maybe pizza. What? And it's, again, doesn't qualify or disqualify anyone. I do not have the criticism for Biden. My criticism here is for the people who are denying that there's any sort of change. Because there was another clip from this week where he's talking about kids flipping him off.
I never thought I'd see a time when I'm going through a neighborhood or a rural town in the West and see big signs that have a Trump sign in the middle that says F. Biden. And having a little kid standing with his middle finger, 7 years old, 8 years old. Well, I promise it happens all the time.
All right, maybe it did happen, maybe it didn't happen, but listen to how he talks. You've seen Tombstone, Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, all that fun stuff, Billy Bob Thornton. Through the whole show, Val Kilmer's just killing it. Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday, coolest, smoothest talking, I'm your Huckleberry, and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, he's in the sanitarium. The tuberculosis has him on his deathbed, and he can barely talk. And Wyatt comes in and plays cards with him. He's like, leave me alone. Go find that beautiful girl. Make babies. Live happily ever after. That's how Joe Biden talks now. He talks like he's on, I don't want to say he's on his deathbed, because that's really morbid, and I don't delight in such things. But listen to him. Listen, how much he sounds like a guy who's about to die in a movie.
Predecessor never lifted a finger to do any help. Matter of fact, he lifted a finger, he put a thumb on it.
Finger and thumb on him. He doesn't finish his words. He talks like I do when I'm drunk. You know how just one word meshes into the next word and all your consonants aren't completely important. And then the trail off thing to go with that. A lot of weird stuff going on. And also yesterday, he encouraged Israel to not invade Haifa, which is in Israel.
And I made it clear to Israelis, don't move on Haifa. It's just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently when Israel was attacked.
And this dude is not okay. This dude is, I mean, for me, he's still qualified to be president, but he has obviously lost a step. You want to remember what he talked like back in the day? I'll go to the old news report I played from 1987 from his first campaign. Listen to how upbeat he sounds.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do. The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits.
Biden now...
See how fast, and it's a higher pitch? It's like he's pushing enough air that he doesn't have to strain. I mean, listen to that again. Listen to this.
I've never thought I'd see a time when I'm going through a neighborhood or a rural town in the West.
To the phones we go. Phil and Richardson, you're on 820 AM now, 93.3 FM WBAP. What do you see, Phil?
Well, you know, the guy is an idiot, and he's emboldened now. We've got here in Dallas. I want to know why the Palestinian protesters are on the North Haven pedestrian bridge. You've got a parking lot, northbound, southbound 75. What does Dallas have to do with Israel, Hamas, or any of this? And this guy has let everybody come do whatever they want. City of Dallas can't even confirm whether they got a permit to do this or anything. We're letting these people in this country. What do we think? This is the start. These are all sleeper cells, man.
Well, Dallas gets credit because they had these same group of Palestinian protesters that tried to block the entrance to our airport, and we saw them block the Golden Gate Bridge last week. We saw them block the entrance to O'Hare Airport. We saw them blocking part of New York City up there. But when they tried this back in January at Love Field, our mayor sent the police to go pick them up. And when they went and sat down in the middle of the road, the cops, the Dallas Police Department, went over there, slapped cuffs on them, took them into the paddy wagon, and cleared them out of there. So really, as long as they're not blocking traffic, that's a different complaint than these people. It's crazy for them to be saying what they're saying. But are they blocking traffic, or are they just standing unfolding signs over the side of the bridge?
No, they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're not blocking traffic. Obviously, if they were in 75, they'd be in the grill on a truck right now.
Well, they could be blocking the bridge on North Haven, but I get what you're saying. I didn't know.
Yeah, I guess they could be blocking pedestrians, but I guarantee you this: you're not going to find the soccer moms pushing their kids in their strollers over the bridge right at this moment. That ain't happening.
Well, I take it as a point of pride that we don't do this. You never see like the gun rights protesters blocking entrances to any airports. You don't see the people who are concerned about, balancing the budget or getting rid of Obamacare, blocking any highways or the entrance to airports. Or there's never been a right-wing mob that stopped the Golden Gate Bridge in my lifetime that I've noticed. So
no, we don't do that craziness. But you know what? As the crazy is going to become crazier and crazier and crazier, and I promise you it will, with everybody that's coming through the border and everything. Look, it ain't a peaceful religion. They do want to take over. They do want to see the merging of religion and government, because that's what all of their countries do. And they're here to, we can be nice about it, but the reality is something's going to come down. Something's going to happen. And all of us gun crazy nuts will be the ones that save the republic.
Well, I don't want to get rid of them as much as I would like to convert them. Like, we all believe in Abraham and Moses and the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. We're sort of on the same team. They're kind of our cousins. If you want to just go ahead and, adopt Christianity, you know what? You get to eat bacon. Yeah, you get to see women in bikinis. Yeah, yeah, and you can wear gold.
Afghanistan and talk about Jesus and see how long you last, brother.
Good point. All good points. Thank you very much for calling in, Phil and Richardson, for the live update from the protesters on Highway 75. Coming up next, ruthless movie reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Selling a home and moving with 9 kids? One Texas couple was facing just that until they heard about Orchard's Move First, Sell Later. Orchard handled the repairs, upgrades, and what they dreaded most, the showings.
How do we sell our house? How do we make our house showable with so many kids in it? And we were able to sell the house for more than we thought we would. Orchard was just a trusted partner in the process.
You'll love how easy Orchard makes buying your next home before you sell. For your free home valuation, visit Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct Spring Sale. This is your last chance to get 20% off store-wide. Plus, book an appointment and you'll get an additional $100 off your purchase. You don't want to miss this. 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. And a huge selection of the latest styles with in-store designer appearances. 20% off ends this Sunday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
So you got pain? Are you feeling pain right now? Do you have aspirin, ibuprofen, Aleve, Advil? You have something like that in the console of your car because you have pain so much? You may not need that. Hey, James Parker here. QC Kinetics is where a lot of people like you have gone. They do the free consultation. They get the information. They make the decision on whether or not they want to try out this new advanced regenerative treatment. It's getting amazing reviews. You can look online at the reviews. They have over 150 clinics nationwide. This isn't some pop-up shop. They have the name. They have the reputation. They have the receipts to prove it. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. How do they do it? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Call them. Find out. They'll tell you. That's what the free consultation is for. They explain it all to you, and then you make the decision on whether or not you want a pain-free future. 972-972-8610, 972-972-8610. You can go to qckinetics.com or call 972-972-8610.
Fraudulent tax returns due identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Hello, I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Nick Namath, with another important tax fact. The best time to ask for a settlement with the IRS is when you're struggling financially.
That's right, Jamie. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath. If you're struggling financially, and to be honest, who isn't these days, you may not have to pay the amount of taxes the IRS says you owe. Your financial situation could be an advantage. For over 20 years, I've helped Texans, both individuals and businesses, successfully handle the IRS. I'm ready to help you. Don't be embarrassed because money's tight and you've put off paying taxes. Let's sit down together to see if you qualify for a reduction. The call is free and confidential.
If you've received a notice from the IRS, let the legal experience of the law offices of Nick Namath help you. Call Nick Namath, the DFW tax attorney, at 972-484-0829 or visit myiRSteam.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station. Trending now.
A man sets himself on fire outside the courthouse where the former president's trial is underway. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
75 northbound still heavy out of downtown as you move up toward Royal Lane. The southbound side of traffic slow out of Richardson down to Royal. That's because of the protesters on the overhead bridge there. 635 southbound at La Prada, the right lane taken away. 45-minute backup to Abrams. Northbound 635 at Centerville Ferguson, that one in the right lane. I-30 eastbound at Hampton Road. The two left lanes are blocked. That's slowing you back to Westmoreland. And Woodall Rogers westbound at Field, that one partially blocking the ramp itself. WBAP's first traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight, a low 58 degrees. It is 71 in Dallas, 69 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Structured Foundation Repairs. A man set himself on fire outside the Manhattan Criminal Court during former President Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York today. FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh spoke about the state of the victim.
The victim is in critical condition but is alive and intubated at Cornell Burn Center. At this time, there were three NYPD officers and one court officer, so 4 officers who had minor injuries from their exposure to the fire.
Meanwhile, inside the courthouse, the jury and alternates were seated, and opening statements in the former president's trial are expected to get underway on Monday. Your money news, a potential escalation in the technology war between the U.S. and China.
Apple says Beijing has ordered it to remove some of the world's most popular chat messaging apps from its app store in China to comply with censorship demand. The apps, which let users exchange messages and share files, have about 3 billion users around the world. Among those which were cut for what Beijing called national security concerns, WhatsApp and Threads, as well as messaging platforms Signal and Telegram. The move further tightens internet controls by China and comes as Congress ramps up efforts to crack down on TikTok with legislation which could mean a ban or force a sale by its Chinese-based parent company. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The Dow closed up 211 points, NASDAQ down 319, the S&P 500 down by 44. Again, the low tonight around 58. It is 71 in Dallas, 69 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Novak Motors. I'm Eric Bushman. Your next news update is at 5 o'clock. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Seems like a roller coaster ride sometimes following sports here in North Texas. Busy one week, not so much the next week. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys are focused on the NFL draft. That's coming up next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Rangers are out of town. Mavericks are leaving town, and the Stars don't have a game on home ice until next Monday in the Stanley Cup playoffs. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Cowboys with the 24th pick in the first round of the draft next Thursday from Detroit, where common sense says they've got to get somebody who can help them on that offensive line. But with Jerry Jones, you just never know who he's going to pull the trigger on. Rangers are going to spend the weekend in Atlanta against Major League Baseball's best team right now. The Braves are 12-5. The Rangers 11-9, but hanging on to first place in the AL West. Mavs leaving for the West Coast in L.A. to play the Clippers Sunday and Tuesday at Crypto.com Arena. Before that series shifts to Dallas next Friday and Sunday. And then you've got the Western Conference champion Dallas Stars getting ready for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Games on the Big Ice and Big D next Monday and Wednesday. And last but not least, for you soccer fans, FC Dallas at home Saturday night at Toyota Stadium in a game against the Colorado Rapids. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'm Steve Lamb, WBAP Sports.
Democracy 2024. Keep connected, DFW, to stay informed on the issues, races, and political hijinks. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome. This is News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. Welcome to the big show. On Friday, we like to do a little look at what you could entertain yourself with this weekend and warn you about the stuff that you might want to avoid. We call it Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. Debbie is the only person allowed to do movie reviews on this show because she's the only one who does them right. You have a no Ruth guarantee for the next two segments. Welcome back, Debbie.
Thank you. Great to be back.
All right. Happy Friday, Debbie. I always talk to you when I'm like about to get off work for the weekend, so I just associate you with fun. First,
oh, thank you.
First movie. I haven't even heard of this. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Ungentlemanly? That's a long adverb. What's going on with this one?
It's a great movie. So this is the full movie I'm giving Ruth to. So this is the new Guy Ritchie movie. And with Guy Ritchie, it's either hit or miss. I either love his stuff or I hate it. This is a love. So this movie is really good. It's about during World War II, Winston Churchill had this special unit, kind of like the Inglourious Bastards unit. Little different, but very similar. If you like that movie, you'll like this. This is not as good as that movie, but it's still pretty good. So they had to take out the Nazi U-boats.
Bro, hang on. I'm enjoying your review here, but are we going to have a Nazi reference in every other episode of Ruthless Movie Reviews? How many movies have Nazis in them? Like one out of every three?
I know you think it's too many, but honestly, I like those movies. I think that was a time where most Americans, even though there were some anti-war people, most Americans knew good from evil, and we were united against the Nazis.
Well,
once we entered the war.
I'm not pro-Nazi. It's just become like trite how that's the only bad group that we're allowed to, just unanimously all agree that they're evil. And so it's such an intellectual and creative shortcut. Who's going to be the bad guy in your movie? Oh, let's make it, I don't know. How about Nazis? Yeah, Nazis. Anyway, that's what I see.
Agree with you on that in that respect because they won't call out Islamic terrorists. They won't even point out that many terrorists are Muslim. They won't call out a number of the bad guys. You are right about that. They won't call out the Chinese because then they can't show their movies in China. You are right. That said, it is a good movie. It's really good, and it is kind of wokeified, and I'll get into that in a second. But it's still a great movie. So this is a true story. There were these guys, and we know their names. And in fact, at the very end of the movie, they show what happened to these guys. And the main guy is this guy, Gus March Phillips, who's played by Henry Cavill, and he was a real hero. And he later got killed by the Nazis. After this mission, he went back and he was killed in Germany. But Ian Fleming, Sir Ian Fleming, who was in the MI6 or is it MI5? I mixed them up. But the British Secret Service, he was one of the coordinators of this. And if people know James Bond, they know that Ian Fleming was the author of James Bond. And he based James Bond on this real-life guy who is the main character in this movie. Now, these guys had to take out the U-boats, so they had to blow them up or steal them. And they had to go to this island in Spain, and Spain was neutral, so Britain couldn't be seen as attacking them. So these guys were basically disavowed by Britain, and they were on their own. And it's just a very fun movie. Now, how was it wokeified? Well, all of these guys were white males. And so Guy Ritchie went and he invented this woman who did exist. She was a secretary for this unit, and she married Gus March Phillips. But in this movie, she's a secret agent also, and there's no evidence that ever happened. She did go on to become a movie star. That's true. They also have this whole group of black guys who helped in the mission, and there's no evidence there were any black guys that helped with this story.
But I bet you they left all the bad guys 100% white male.
Of course, they were all Nazis. That's right.
They didn't sprinkle in some female or Nazis of color there?
No, they did not. No.
That would be ridiculous.
It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. It's very funny. It's not boring. I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. So I recommend this movie. It's the only movie I recommend.
Wow. What do you give it on the Debbie rating scale?
I would give it 4 Reagans, maybe 3.5.
Whoa, that's huge.
Because of the wokeification.
Okay. Well, that's rare territory. That's you're getting close to the boundary of Ruth there. What about the next movie? Abigail.
So the next movie is Abigail. I did not like this movie. It's supposed to be a horror movie. Wasn't scary at all. It was actually kind of long, slow, and boring. It's very gory and disgusting. The story is kind of has a lot of holes in it. It's kind of all over the place and a mess. And also it stars as one of the two main characters, Melissa Barrera. Now, who's Melissa Barrera? She's the woman that was even excommunicated by a lot of big Hollywood studios and agencies, and her agents dropped her. She was dropped from Screen 7. Why? Because she supports Hamas. She defended the October 7th terrorist attacks on Jews and on Israel. She's anti-Semitic, and she said a lot of anti-Semitic things. I don't want to repeat them and give them oxygen. But when even Hollywood, which is not so pro-Jewish or pro-Israel, when even Hollywood has disavowed this woman and kicked her out, that should tell you something. So she's the star of the movie. I don't want to support Hamas. But the story is that a bunch of criminals are paid to get together one night and kidnap this daughter of this very rich and powerful guy so they can get $50 million in ransom money, and they'll all get paid. Well, once they're in this old house where she's being held, they realize they're trapped in the house, and she's a vampire, and she's going to kill them all. The end.
Well, that sounds like a decent premise for a movie, but you're not a fan, huh?
No, it is a decent premise, but the execution of the movie was terrible.
Rating scale?
And so I would give this really a marks. I didn't care for it. It was just gross and pointless, and there was a mess.
All right, we still have to review Sting. We're going to do it after the break here. You're listening to Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. This is The James Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Monday at 5:47, nearly 40% of people planning their summer vacations are willing to go into debt to do it. We'll talk with a bank rate analyst about that.
And at 8:21, the FBI says a cyber attack on our infrastructure could be just around the corner.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Mary, and Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton with your forecast. Steve Lamb has sports, and Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Monday's WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our grand opening tomorrow, where you can get 10 acres for just $79.9. That's right, 10 acres for only $79.9. Located just 100 minutes from DFW. These properties are unrestricted. It's your ranch and your rules. There is no HOA. These properties feature roads, internet, power, with towering hardwoods, and access to the owner's private lake. The grand opening tomorrow is by appointment only. Call now to book your priority appointment. Call 469-489-3916. That's 469-489-3916. Call today. Don't miss this chance to own 10 acres for only $79.9. Call 469-489-3916. That's 469-489-3916. 469-489-3916. 3916.
Hi, it's Carla, and if a storm has hit your neighborhood already this spring, call the roofing company I recommend, Old Pro Roofing. Old Pro Roofing is a family-owned DFW roofing company specializing in all types of residential and commercial roofing systems. At Old Pro Roofing, they follow one simple idea: treat your customers and employees right, and success will follow. And you see that idea the minute one of their staff comes to your home to inspect your roof. Trust your home to an Old Pro. Go to oldproroofing.com or call 817-929-ROOF. oldproroofing.com.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this. Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career. Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This report is brought to you by GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
635 northbound at Garland Road, the right lane taken away, heavy to Northwest Highway. Then 635 northbound at Centerville Ferguson, got a new one in the right lane there. That's backing you up to La Prada. I-30 eastbound at Hampton Road, couple left lanes are blocked. It's slowing you back toward Loop 12 Walton Walker. Woodall Rogers westbound at Field, that one partially blocks the on-ramp. And a new one, I-35E northbound at Inwood, that one taken away, that left center lane. For WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Brandy from the Good Feet Store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. And remember, over the weekend, when you're like, oh, I missed the James Show so bad, you can go to the WBAP app or WBAP.com. Check out the podcast, the James Show. I pull out clips and put them up there, and you can listen to them even when the show is not on. Now, we are dead in the middle of ruthless movie reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. Thus far, we have reviewed Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and Debbie gives that an enthusiastic yes, and then Abigail, which is a negative. What about Sting? What is Sting, Debbie?
So it's not the rock star from The Police.
Is it the wrestler from back in the day?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not the wrestler either. So it's no big names in it. I didn't recognize anyone in the movie. About this apartment house in Brooklyn in the dead of winter. It's a very bad snowstorm. This outer space beam lands in the apartment, and a spider is produced. This little girl that lives in the building, she sees the spider. She hides from her parents. She feeds the spider, and it grows and doubles and grows geometrically, and it kills people in the apartment building. I hated this movie. It was long, slow, gross, and very gory and pointless, and I just couldn't wait for it to end. I kept looking at my phone to see how much longer. It just wasn't interesting, and it was just disgusting.
That bad?
Yeah.
Well, don't hold back. All right, and so that's our three movies. What did you rate Sting?
2 marks.
2 marks. All right, so the only thing new worth watching this weekend that you reviewed was Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Love it.
All right, so let's put a bow on the end of the Debbie movie review segment. Seeing the horns make it official. All right, now let's take the same ruthless approach to the news. I bet you're enjoying the jury selection process for the Trump trial, aren't you, Debbie?
You know, I actually think some of these jurors might. I mean, this is a very small chance, but it's possible they might be fair. You never know. I am amazed at a number of people saying truthfully that they can't be fair, because you know how it usually works is people want to get on these juries. They want to, they already have a position, but they lie about it and say they can be fair. And so people would lie to go on the jury to convict Trump. And maybe there are some of those. We won't know, possibly ever or until the end. But a lot of people were honest, and I got to give them a lot of credit.
Well, have you done a lot of jury selections in your career as a lawyer?
Yes.
So what are some of the tricks you use to weed out people like that? Because obviously, if someone is politically motivated, they could lie and try and lie their way in just to sink the guy.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I try, but a lot of judges will limit you. I always ask people if they have bumper stickers on their car, which I'm kind of dating myself because nobody does that anymore. But if they do, I will ask them what it is for. I'll ask them if they voted in the election. I'll ask them, are they active in women's groups? What do they think of the Me Too movement? You know, are they involved in, do they keep their husband, if they're married, did they take on their husband's last name?
Ooh, that's a good one. Like if you have a hyphenated last name, Afuera, get out of here.
Yeah, they're a big liberal. You know that. And I've had people who say they're involved in women's groups or they're involved in counseling domestic violence survivors. And nothing against that. I don't endorse domestic violence, but those are typically liberal people.
Ooh.
And try picking a jury in Washtenaw County, Michigan, which is the county seat of Ann Arbor, Michigan, which my late father, bless his soul, used to call Moscow on the Huron, and then he said that it was mean to Moscow because Moscow even was becoming more sensible than Ann Arbor.
All right, so when we see the fallout and what's going on in the Middle East, you as a practicing Jew have strong opinions on what's going on with Israel. What do you think about the flop attack that Iran tried last weekend and the response since then?
So that attack, I think, was enabled and emboldened because Joe Biden gave these people lots of money, and so did Obama. Joe Biden lessened the sanctions, so did Obama. I did agree wholeheartedly with the Trump policies against Iran, and those worked. Iran was starving economically, and they wouldn't have been able to do this. So that is why this happened. But I think Israel's response last night was a little baloney nothing. Israel should have responded right away swiftly. And I have friends from the Israeli left and the Israeli center who are not as right-wing as me, who are mad that Israel did not respond right away and very harshly. And what happened last night, it was announced by the Biden administration. And what happened is Biden told Israel they can't respond with a big response, which is what they should have done. And he let them do a little nothing, and then he announced it. It's just a lot of baloney. If you don't respond in the Chicago way, which, to refresh people's memories, in The Untouchables, look up the Sean Connery, the Chicago Way video on YouTube. You'll see. Somebody comes at you with a knife, you come at them with several guns. If they take out one of your people, take out 10 or 20 of theirs. That's what you have to do to teach them to respect and fear you. And I don't think Israel's doing that right now.
Right. They put one of yours in the hospital. You put one of theirs in the morgue.
Yes, that was it. See, you remember it even better than I do.
All right. How can the guy listening find more of the great Debbie Schlussel online?
So follow me on Facebook at Facebook Debbie's fan page, on Twitter /X at Debbie Schlussel, on Instagram real Debbie Schlussel, and so on.
All right.
At Debbie's fan club, Debbie S fan club.
All right, Debbie, close your ears real quick. If you want to see the fun stuff, go to YouTube and look up Debbie on Howard Stern a few years ago. Go check that one out. That's some fun stuff. All right, well, Debbie, thank you very much for the Ruthless movie reviews and for your take on the news of the week. Go have a good weekend. Let's do it again next week.
You're welcome. Great. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. That's Debbie Schlussel. Find her online. And seriously, about the Howard, you would love that, Sean. I know you're a Howard Stern fan. Also, Aerosmith fans, listen up. Aerosmith's coming back to DFW, maybe for the last time. They're calling it their farewell tour. American Airlines Center, November 9th. Tickets already went on sale. They're at Ticketmaster.com. However, if you want to try your luck, roll the dice, go to the WBAP.com contest page, register now for your chance to win tickets. And if you don't win, maybe you can go ahead and go buy them. But Aerosmith, peace out, the farewell tour. Aerosmith, peace out, the farewell tour comes to American Airlines Center November 9th. Thank you very much for hanging out with the James Show. Stick around. Coming up next, Mark Levin and then Chris Crock, and then you're going to have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. This has been the James Show. I'm James Parker on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Did you know you can lose up to 25% efficiency by having leaky windows in your home? Ernie here for the folks at Statewide Remodeling. Statewide is looking for 50 homeowners to receive free installation on a house full of windows or a new bath and shower with no interest and no payments until 2026. In the last 30 years, Statewide Remodeling has replaced over 300,000 plus windows here in the Southwest. If you've been considering replacing your windows or bathroom, now is the time to call Statewide Remodeling. I've been telling you about their Eco South window, so you only pay for options you need on a window-by-window basis. And now you receive up to a $1,200 tax credit when installing these energy-efficient windows in your home. Plus, Statewide is a multi-year Consumer Choice winner and Google guaranteed. They even have a lifetime workmanship warranty. So, no interest and no payments until 2026, free installation, plus a $50 Amazon gift card just for getting an estimate. 214-214-6000. That's 214-214-6000. Or online at statewide